Welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. A fine, lavish, it's Friday to you and yours. More importantly, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, the whole kit and caboodle. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. If you miss any portion of the show today, you can get caught up. All 3 hours to be posted upon the conclusion of the show on iTunes, as well as in our own audio vault on ESPNTallahassee.com. Utilize the app, the mobile app. It's free for all your mobile devices. It is the WTSM app. Get it, because you can find the show there as well. You can email us, jcs@979espnradio.com. Appreciate the emails. You can watch us on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. Good to have you along. Hope you're doing well. Off the cap to you. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee, and on Periscope, you have to follow the Twitter account at 979 ESPN Radio. And tonight, we get to engage in one of our favorite events, if not our favorite event of the year. We'll be over at Capitol Lanes, where the bowling will happen. It won't always be at an elite level, at least not from me and Tom. But you know what? The event is really kind of something that's grown into a heartwarming experience for me every year, because your kindness and benevolence out there and willingness to give and be a part of something that's pretty great has grown every year that we've done it. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's dropped off a toy or two or a gift card or even money. We've had people do that as well to try to help out with the kids at the Guardian Ad Litem. There's still time to do that. I would suggest at this point, if you have something, you can swing past Capitol Lanes and drop it off there. In fact, WarChant.com's Gene Williams just texted me and said, I can't make the event tonight. I've got relatives in town. We're doing some things, but he's always a part of the event. Wants to swing past Capitol Lanes and drop off some stuff. I told him to go ahead and do that. So you can do that. They're open right now, and they'll house that stuff for you. We'll be there tonight, and it's always great. Also, if you couldn't do it before the holidays, I understand. Crazy time. The kids of the Guardian Ad Litem, these are kids that need advocate. They need help. They need people looking after them and providing some of the simple things in life, let alone presents. That's a year-round endeavor. So listen, by all means, after the holidays are over, if you have something or you're able to do something, swing on past here at the studios and or give us a call, and we'll let you know how to help out that way as well. But I always love this. It always sees me in a great mood. We're about to go on our Christmas break as well. We'll be off next week. So today's show is the last for 5 work days, and then we'll be back, and we'll do a show before New Year's and react to the big games and the college football playoff and the bowls that are going on between now and then, as well as basketball. Florida State plays tomorrow, and it should be a good game against the Billikens. Always like that name. It is the 11th ranked Noles, who also tend to be getting dropped in people's polls somehow. I saw where we were a 4 seed, a 5 seed, 6 seed. I don't worry about it too much right now, but it's weird that you just keep winning games and people are dropping you down. I got you. But they'll take on St. Louis tomorrow, 2:30 Saturday at the BB&T Center there in Sunrise, Florida. The first game of the 25th Annual Orange Bowl Classic doubleheader will be televised on Fox Sports 2. That would be 7:29 on Xfinity.
I would think they might pick it up here locally on Fox Sports Florida or Sun.
Yeah.
Hopefully. They do that most every year. So.
Yeah. You could usually get it on the FSN Florida.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You would think
401, 402 on Comcast.
You got to be able to get that. We'll see what happens. You've got a game here, these two teams that were once in the Metro Conference way back when. I remember it well. Tom probably does not, because the Metro was when he was a wee little lad. They last faced off in 1982 before St. Louis left the Metro after that season. FSU leads the all-time series, Tom. I like to give the history here. 11 games to 1. A lopsided beatdown between these two teams over the years. The Noles were 10-1 in Metro Conference games. Our last meeting at a newly opened TLC-CC, January 23rd, 1982. The Noles boat racing the Billikens 89-73. Mitchell Wiggins had 27 points and 14 rebounds. Have yourself a day.
Mitchell Wiggins.
Good old Mitchell Wiggins.
Oh, man.
This will be our 7th consecutive season that Florida State plays in the Orange Bowl Classic. And I'm sure our mutual friend, my dear friend Matt Britton, will be going with his wife and family over there to Sunrise to watch the Noles, who are 7-2 all time in the event. Began in 1994. Florida, who's playing in the second half of the doubleheader against Florida Gulf Coast, is 16-3 all time in the event. The Miami Hurricanes have also been a past participant with a paltry 6-11 record. Seems of the teams in the state, Miami, who so often is the case, did the most of the sucking. Yeah,
maybe Leonard racked up most of those wins for Miami.
And then when he left it, it just was derailed. That was the end of that. So there you go. Here we are. Now that game takes place tomorrow. Should be a good test. It's a good defensive squad out of St. Louis. They're not going to match up with us from a height standpoint, but they do have a veteran club. A lot of guys that have played a lot of basketball. And they play very good defense, as I mentioned before, holding I think I said it yesterday. I think they're holding teams to 62 points or something like that a game. So I'll look at the numbers again when we talk about this game more in-depthly. But, they're playing good defense. And clearly Leonard was worried about him, talked about it.
Yeah, he talked about it when it was time to talk about Wednesday's game. He said that the rotation was such that we've got a big game against St. Louis, 3 games in a short period of time. But St. Louis, at least its film, it really jumped off the page. And while last year the focus wasn't necessarily where it needed to be for Oklahoma State, an admission that was a year late, but I found that interesting because I thought we played okay in that basketball game.
Lost by a point, and it was a heartbreaker, yeah.
And Oklahoma State wasn't terrible. He believes that the focus will be there and be right. We shall see. But nice entertainment. If you're running around town, you might want to take a break from shopping around 2 o'clock.
Might mention that yours truly was all over it yesterday. You're welcome, everybody. If you picked up Marshall for the bowl game at Gasparilla down in Tampa against USF, who now becomes the first team to ever start a season 7-0 and finish at 7-6, not part of a group that you want to start. That's not good. But I had Marshall. Many of you did too, if you're following my lead. You may have also had the over, baby, as Big Daddy J told you at the end of the show, between Toronto and the Florida Panthers. We cruised past the over there, 9 goals scored in that game. So all right.
That sets up to be an interesting spring between Tampa and Toronto. It's 2 teams that can light it up, buddy. They're going to have to change the over-unders and for most of the games remaining.
Good game going on right now. FIU 21, Toledo 17. That game going to the 4th quarter, so we got us good bowl action. All right. Little Florida International Golden Panthers taking the lead there in the 3rd quarter over Toledo, 21-17. As I say, what bowl is that? I should know that. What the hell is the name of that bowl?
I don't know. Is that the Miami Beach Bowl? That's just a guess.
It's the Makers Wanted Bahamas. This is the Bahamas game. Oh, all right. I thought that was coming later on.
You were giving me a scouting report on that tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it just cost us dearly. I could have won us some money. Golly.
You don't win us enough money, Big Daddy.
By the way, it's playing out exactly like I thought with the under in play here, buddy. Damn it, Jeff, you idiot. 21-17. What are they doing playing right now?
I don't know, but you said you thought they were playing tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. I was like, really? I haven't heard that since like the Outback Bowl back in the day used to kick off in the mornings.
I don't know what I was reading. It just cost us a chance to cash in, man. That game is being played in Nassau at the Thomas Robinson Stadium.
Hey, man, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, one that has stayed constant amidst so many changes and corporate sponsorships.
True. Is that coming up at 4?
That's at 4 o'clock.
That's Western Michigan and BYU, buddy. Is that what we're looking at here?
From the old Albertsons.
I always love that they play in the Albertsons Bowl. Hey, actually, this is what's going on now, though. It is for those that hold on to that last vestige of hope with football, and you need the distraction because you're tired of hearing negative things about Florida State. Well, here we go, right? We've been playing these games. Marshall cashes in 38-20 last night. We got a game on right now. Got a game on at 4 o'clock, Western Michigan, BYU. And then check it out tomorrow. Memphis and Wake Forest, over under 85 points, Tom.
Well, the Vegas over-under says 73.5, so I will take the under.
I love that you looked it up. That means you were already looking ahead, buddy.
I was looking at it.
Looking ahead.
Well, the idea of Memphis being able to run the football and control the clock would be the question there. I mean, might you actually end up with fewer possessions because Memphis can run the ball?
Memphis can't stop anybody from scoring, though, and Wake can't either. I'm going to guess that we see a big number there. Oh, by the way, Wake Forest having to contend with one less running back for Memphis. They're a two-headed monster at Memphis, and one of those guys is out.
How about this one? Houston and Army, and obviously that's a game that Knowles fans are going to pay attention to see if there's a press release of after the Houston and Army game.
Army will be the favorite in that game.
Army is a 5.5-point favorite, but the over-under is at 60.5.
Under.
What are we missing? Is Houston's defense that bad?
Yeah, they're bad, but the Army runs the ball and runs the clock, and the game gets over with in like 3 drives.
Right, so what I'm saying is if they're the favorite, and that's the line, that's the over-under, that means that Houston's defense has to be atrocious.
Well, it is. Go back and look at their stat line lately. It ain't good, and, their best player is their defensive tackle who's not playing, so, there you go.
I mean, I hope Memphis is 31. That's not terrible.
31? It's not good.
Yeah, I know, but Memphis can light it up. You know what I'm saying? And they run faster than Army does.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
at 60, and the number's 60, not 50. 60.
No, I'm going under, Tom.
What's wrong with that picture?
By the way, Buffalo and Troy, Hawaii and Louisiana Tech. The point is, football in earnest from 12 tomorrow all the way through 10:30 at night tomorrow night, plus NFL football to boot. And then you turn around and, you got a bunch of games on Sunday, and that slate on Sunday. Really, the NFL is the star of the weekend. We've got great games in the National Football League that will help decide an awful lot, and I'm really curious to see how this plays out because, I could see some strange things going down in the NFL on Sunday. I got some watch-out games to look at here, but you really could. And, oh, by the way, that all leads up to the Monday night game, which is the last game in Oakland ever. And I'm nostalgic. I get nostalgic with these things. Oakland's one of those teams that, even though I've never been an Oakland Raiders fan, who doesn't know a ton of them? I've got friends that are Oakland fans because it's classic black and silver, the bad guys and all that stuff, the Renegades. I always liked the imagery. I always liked the uniforms, and I always liked that they were in Oakland. I know they moved to L.A. way back when I was young. I remember when they went to Los Angeles. That was a big deal. I remember at that time you would see like a lot of the rap groups like NWA and others having the Los Angeles Raiders hats, but to me, they belonged in Oakland. It was perfect. And when they went back to Oakland, I celebrated that fact. It feels like Oakland should always have football, and I don't know that they'll ever get another team.
Well, I grew up with them being the L.A. Raiders, but I know the history of Oakland, and I always come back to this when I think about the Oakland Raiders, is if the Tuck rule is not in effect.
Oh, man, it changes everything, including whether or not the Bucs win a Super Bowl.
But it might change New England and what New England accomplishes. That Super Bowl was really close.
Would it change Gruden's career as well?
Right. So does Brady get the honest shot, or does Bledsoe? You know what I mean? Like, what happens to the New England franchise? Gruden wins there. Can he win back-to-back years? Because certainly they got back to the Super Bowl without him the next season. So does Oakland have a mini dynasty on its hands? We know that he can't do it long-term. But who knows what happened? The whole NFL might have been completely different if the Tuck rule was not in effect that night.
It's a fun exercise. They do this with history books, too. If so-and-so had won this battle or won this war, you do the same type thing. Those are always infinitely fascinating if you're a fan of history. But they do it. You can do it in sports all day long, and perhaps none more glaring than that particular game, particular moment, and ruling, which really did change the course of 3 franchises. In one moment, you're talking about the Raiders destined to get blown out in the Super Bowl after Gruden is, traded to the Bucs. Obviously, the Bucs had risen to an elite level, but couldn't get over the hump with Tony Dungy because he couldn't hire an offensive coordinator worth a damn and was too stubborn to do so. And so Gruden comes in and they're able to get, Keyshawn and do some of the things that they did, and then including win the Super Bowl, and then obviously New England.
Well, would St. Louis have won the Super Bowl if that was the case? Would they have been more alert? Would the matchup have been better for St. Louis over Oakland in that situation? It's hard to know. And maybe you get 2 or 3 more years of a St. Louis dynasty, and maybe that means that they end up staying in the state and staying in the city.
Crazy. A lot of fun to do that. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Review, hosted by the Tallahassee Democrats' Rory Chirac, every Friday at 6 p.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP, Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hey sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
Hi, I'm President John Thrasher. I'm here with some of our outstanding marching chiefs. They've been invited to an incredible opportunity, and they need your help. Next June, the marching chiefs will travel to France and represent both the state of Florida and the United States at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy. As both an Army veteran and the president of the university dedicated to student veteran success, I know what a meaningful opportunity this is for these talented musicians. But experiences like this can be out of reach for many students. So today, I'm asking for your support so we can send as many of our marching chiefs as possible to this monumental event. Visit give.fsu.edu/Normandy. Thank you, and go Noles!
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on Thursdaysincollegetown.com.
Imagine your dream carpet installed for free. The Home Depot offers all-inclusive installation on minimum purchases of $699. That's removal of your old carpet, basic furniture moving, and stairs. So the dream carpet you want comes at the price you were expecting. Free carpet installation that's actually free. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing. Valid only on showroom carpet price $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers including CGC 1514813 and CRC 046858. Available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the all-new Kraft Infinity. Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Kraft Infinity purchased all inventory at a discounted price. We want to pass those savings on to you. Kraft Infinity has 85 new vehicles in stock, both 2018s and 2019s, and all will be sold at invoice pricing, plus up to $3,000 winter bonus cash on most models. So come look at Kraft Infinity before you buy and dare to compare us to Mercedes, BMW, Acura, Cadillac, and Lexus. You will not buy or lease a luxury vehicle for less. And Infinity's quality and value is second to none. Drive a 2018 QX80 for $695 a month or a 2019 QX60 for $395 a month with only $2,500 in cash or trade equity due at delivery. Plus all trade-ins are $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Kraft Infinity, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft Brothers, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, next to Ted's Montana Grill. Lease payments are plus tax for 39 months with 10,000 miles per year through Infinity Financial Service with approved credit.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We've been here before where you're like, he's obviously not right.
Oh, that sounds like me. That's good. Are you working on a limited fake Dan? Do you have any more in your arsenal?
Pretty limited.
I want to develop a fake Dan to argue with the fake Stugats so that I can cash my checks without ever coming in here.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. You locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Duke last night. Watched Texas Tech. Duke.
I caught a good bit of that second half where it looked like Texas Tech was trying to pull away, and then Duke responded as a talented team will do.
Trey Jones is good, man. I know everybody talks about Zion, but Trey Jones was really, really, really good last night. And so, you watch that team, and it makes me sick. One of the things that makes me sick is usually Coach K after games like that, where he gives you the sort of, and listen, he's an incredible coach, obviously.
You're damn right. Qualify your statements, son.
But he does that stuff where he looks exhausted and he wants to give off the impression that he had to do a masterful job or they had to do something Herculean and reach down deep to places that other competitors can't find, that only a Duke man can, in order to get this win. Truly tested it up against it in the regular season here when nothing was falling from beyond the arc. They were 2 of 21. How did they find a way to get a win? And he stares off in the distance as if to think of all the great victories that they've had on the road and all the moments of adversity they've had to overcome. Such a devastating set of circumstances, only to reach down deep and find a way, as opposed to, the first 3 picks in the draft reside on the same team in their starting 5.
This is a magical building, Madison Square Garden. It's where I passed Coach Knight for most wins of all time, and this was a program win. This basketball game, it was a program win.
He goes on to tell everybody about how,
Yes, I did.
It was a team that needed a spark, and they were able to find it in the second half. It was difficult time figuring out which buttons to push, Tom. Which first-round draft pick to point to and say, get in there. It's ridiculous.
We had to play above our heads tonight to win this basketball game.
It makes me laugh.
And we did.
If you watched that press conference, you're like, oh, Jesus. He's staring off, thinking about the big moments in the game, Tom, where something critical had to happen, and they needed that spark, and he figured out which buttons to push, which timeout, which meeting they had, when it was going to happen, and then it seemed they found that spark in Trey Jones. It was his night tonight. But any given moment.
Well, that's an incredible Texas Tech team. First of all, hats off to Texas Tech. That's a really good team. Incredible talent that we had to overcome tonight.
They had they were 2 of 21 from the arc, beyond the arc, and they win the game. I mean, they're great. They're great.
That's what happens when they shrink the rims to the regular size from the way they put them each half out there at Coach K court.
It's crazy, man. I did laugh. His exact quote, Tom, to win a game like this one, and to win a game like we had to win tonight. Well, and I'm quoting, I'm just lucky. This isn't a good group of kids. This is a great group of kids.
Amen. Amen, brother.
What an a-hole. It is a regular season game against a team that doesn't have 5 starters going to the NBA.
The adversity we had to overcome tonight. That's a really good program over there.
They did, by the way, force 24 turnovers and turn those into 21 points, and they held Texas Tech without a field goal for the final 6 minutes plus of the game. So, yeah, I will say, if by chance you're a sporting guy or gal and you had Texas Tech in the cover because you were getting 10 and you thought, I like Texas Tech's defense, they're one of the best defensive clubs in the country, then last night was a tough beat for you because it's a 2-point game. What was the number here? I'm looking at this. It's a 2-point game with, 5 to play? It ends up being an 11-point loss. Ooh, wow. That'll hurt your feelings.
A lucky guy. We're just so lucky. We got away with one tonight.
Reach down deep, did you? It was tough. He went on to say
we were outgunned tonight. We were outgunned.
Yeah, he said that Jones was a godsend. That's what he called him.
Going Urban Meyer, huh?
God. I mean, we were so flat out there. We needed a spark. I didn't know how we were going to get it. I kept trying, with different lineups. You're calling timeouts, just figuring out which button to push. I'm going to push the button of the 7th pick in this year's draft. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to take the 9th pick in this year's draft. And if that's not working out, I'm going to turn back to the 1st overall pick in this year's draft, Williamson. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go to that guy who's probably going to go in the top 20 of the draft and see which one of them is the hot hand. Tough deal.
It's just the magic of this building. The Garden's been great to me. Always has.
Go watch that press conference during the break. It'll make you laugh.
Did you see the Zion 360?
Yeah,
it was called an offensive foul.
Mm-hmm.
No, man.
No, it's not an offensive
foul.
That,
and everybody in the building was, what?
Oh, no. Dude's shuffling like he's on stage at, Broadway. It's just like...
The only thing more unbelievable than that call was the 360 move at that height and size.
So
is that dude just going to be massively fat in about 5 years? Would that be a concern for a draft analyst or a scouting director?
Well, if he's fat and moves like that, then he's a much bigger, taller, skilled version of Charles Barkley. So I'm fine with that. Here's what I'll tell you. Zion, I mean, if you're looking at a kid and you're saying, okay, well, we got to look at projections and how does this game translate to the NBA? Admittedly, you can find faults in things that he is incapable of doing currently. But you would then remind yourself that he's a true freshman and he's built like that. There's no way that guy's not the first pick in the draft if you're not insane, right? I get there are other great players who would come in and most assuredly produce more than he will in year 1 or year 2 or even year 3. But he's 18. Well, who looks like that? That's ridiculous.
Hey now, Big Daddy J. Remember the bad beat we were talking about the other night, the Penn State finish?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that rank now that you've had some time to reflect on it? Because that's a tie game, Penn State -5, and they shoot 6 consecutive free throws with under 2 seconds to play.
No, it's an all-time bad beat. It's an all-time bad beat. But I would rather talk to a veteran. I'd rather talk to a guy that's been doing it longer than me because I've got some bad beat stories, but nothing like, that's crazy. Well, you would, at some point you laugh. If you're a sporting guy or gal, and all jokes aside, if you I like to look at the lines for a lot of different reasons, but yes, primarily to make money. But, at some point, if you do it long enough, you're going to be on the wrong side of a crazy ending, and you're going to go, oh, well.
Well, it wasn't a 5-star bad beat by any means, but the Oklahoma-Texas game was a tough beat in the Big 12 title because that third down that ends up being a touchdown, if it's a first down in that circumstance, they're just going to run the clock out more.
You talking about the one-handed catch?
Yes.
Yes, but I had Oklahoma.
Yeah, but, Texas was on the right side of that until that moment, and that had to be a touchdown. If it was incomplete, they kick a field goal. If they get a first down out of it, then they're running the clock more. And,
by the way, that kid who caught that is a beast.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a catch, too.
Yes, yeah. Of course it was. It had to be.
I think somebody on the other side of the glass was on the other side of this. That is he's got huge hands. My man just like that. There's no reason to catch that ball other than you're a freakish athlete.
No reason at all. None whatsoever.
You had to have leaned forward and gone, did he catch that? Is my man, that didn't bobble? Can we see that again?
Yes.
And then you went, he caught it.
And they showed the angle, over the coach's box, like over their shoulder so you could see it, and the ball didn't move. Not 1 millimeter, not 1 nanometer.
And you're like, he got it. He caught that. That's a touchdown.
Right, so Texas needs to come down the field, and that's when we had the high-pitched squealing noise from the ABC feed.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it goes out.
Oh, yeah, the power goes out. The next time you see it, your boys are going in the middle of the field.
It's like
hands.
first and goal at the 2.
What happened? We were at the 13-yard
pick by Ellinger. What?
Oh, that's another reason I love it. It's the Jeff Cameron Show.
Change card. Visit any of our 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes and get 1 free. And for a limited time, you'll also receive a free fuel system cleaner. Super Lube. It's quick and convenient, and you never need an appointment. Hurry in and get your Super Change card plus a free fuel system cleaner today.
How I love to Super Lube my car, lube my car. How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Edwin Watts Golf presents a special holiday offer from Titleist. The Pro V1 and Pro V1X are the #1 ball in golf used by tour players and amateurs around the world. And right now, they're only $39.99 a dozen, making them the #1 gift in golf. And now available, the new TS Metal Woods. 2 distinct designs that bring more speed to your game. TS2 lets you swing aggressive with maximum forgiveness across the face, while TS3 offers an adjustable sweet spot for speed-tuned performance. This holiday season, shop Edwin Watts Golf, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
With the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report, I'm Charlie Pellett. Cuba is celebrating a game-changing agreement with Major League Baseball that will give Cuban baseball players a legal path to sign with teams in the United States. Major League Baseball says the Cuban Baseball Federation, or FCB, will become the 4th foreign professional baseball league to enter into a similar agreement, joining Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball, the Korea Baseball Organization, and the Chinese Professional Baseball League. Traditionally, elite Cuban players looking to sign with major league teams had to first defect from Cuba and find their way to U.S. soil, and that path was often dangerous. The Seattle Mariners and T-Mobile have announced that the home field of the Mariners will be known as T-Mobile Park for the next 25 years. The agreement obligates the Mariners to pay a minimum of $600 million for ballpark maintenance, operations, and fan improvements over the next quarter century. And that's the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report. I'm Charlie Pellett.
My number 2 does not look like a number 2. I don't know what to call it. Is there a number 3?
Table for 4, please. Anything close to the restroom.
A middle seat with these stomach problems? That's my fear of flying.
Sound like you? If it does, you could be one of the many people with a digestive condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Even if you don't know what EPI is, you might know the symptoms. Frequent diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain. If you have even just one of these symptoms, you could still have EPI, because not everybody experiences EPI the same way, which is why it's so important to open up to your doctor about all your symptoms. And the good news is, EPI is manageable, so don't keep a lid on it. Go to identifyepi.com, complete the symptom checker, and use it to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't keep a lid on it. Visit identifyepi.com. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, listen to Dave.
Andro 400, I really love it. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. It feels like I'm 25. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man.
Andro 400 Max, an extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go to andro400.com or call 888-510-9336. That's 888-510-9336.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. Several small market NBA GMs are expressing dismay that the league isn't looking into tampering charges over the recent public comments made by LeBron James endorsing the Lakers to pursue a trade with the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, with one Eastern Conference GM telling ESPN that it's New Orleans' problem today and a problem for a different player tomorrow for the rest of us. Lakers take on the Pelicans tonight. It's at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN TV and the app. It's Game 2 of an ESPN NBA doubleheader. Game 1 features the Bucks against the Celtics at 8 Eastern. NFL, Tampa Bay will get receiver Deshaun Jackson back for Sunday's game against the Cowboys. Jackson has missed the last 3 games with a thumb injury. Giants wideout Odell Beckham will miss his 3rd straight game with a quad injury when New York visits Indianapolis on Sunday. Yesterday, NFL announcing that Patriots receiver Josh Gordon has been suspended indefinitely for violating the terms of his conditional reinstatement under the league's drug policy. ESPN's Darren Woodson.
Addiction is a disease, man.
It is.
And there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm listening to this story about Josh Gordon yesterday, and you're like, people just think that, there's a switch. You can just turn it on and turn it off. There's no switch. This is every day is a win. Every day is a win. Every single day you got to count it that way. And that's the way I feel about this kid. This is not about football. I mean, we got to get past that point. This is about this young man's life because he has the rest of his life that he has to win every single day.
Darren Woodson, Golic, and Wingo. Baseball, a 3-team trade centers around the A's getting infielder Jurickson Profar from the Rangers. Rays, the third team. Tampa Bay and Texas getting prospects, part of the deal. Bahamas Bowl at the half. Florida International leads Toledo 14-10. It's on ESPN.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
I was reading during the break. Les Miles on the job at Kansas. And he's been there for over a month. He filled his coaching staff this week. DJ Elliott.
Really?
Is going to Kansas to work with Les Miles, and thought that was interesting. About his start there at Kansas, Les says, I'm having as much fun as anybody should be allowed to have. It's kind of funny. The title of the article, the first signing day at Kansas, demonstrates the tough road ahead for Les Miles. But he's got to figure out how to generate interest is basically the story. That you got to get people to just care at all about Kansas football. And he said he understands the landscape. He was surprised, he said in his initial weeks, at the amount of talent that is available in the state of Kansas. Trying to harvest it remains a priority. The Jayhawks signed 2 Kansas products, a safety, Jaden Russell, and a tight end, Mason Fairchild, in a class that featured 6 junior college transfers and 4 prospects from the SEC footprint so familiar to Miles. As he talked to quarterback Thomas McVitie, a JUCO catch originally from Cincinnati who Miles liked at LSU 2 years ago, rival Kansas State yanked the rug out from underneath him and took him in the last second. There's nothing you're going to be able to do, right? And so I think it's going to be fascinating. I'm going to care about Kansas. They're going to be a de facto kind of fun team to watch.
It seems like a good fit, too, just because he would be the type that would inspire kids to try something, try the harder path. Because he has so much fun. He's like, you're going to have fun here. And if you're good enough, we'll make sure that the league sees every game now. So if you're good enough, it's not like you have to be on TV on NBC with Notre Dame like it used to be in the old days. There's no advantage anymore.
It is so funny. That is so true. By the way, update late in the game in the Bahama Bowl there. You got FIU up 28-25 in the fourth quarter. 3 minutes to play. Ooh, got us a barn burner.
I heard Steve Levy had a slip up there. Is that correct?
He did, and it's a fun one, but we cannot repeat it.
We can't play it, unfortunately.
I would love to play it. I'm surprised that particular mistake, when you're talking about a clock, doesn't happen more often. The play clock is the mistake that Steve Levy made, and that he did not call it a play clock.
A lot of times you use the word clock in sports.
It's true. Gotta take a look at the clock. How much time is on that play clock? Better look at the clock.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
We are children.
Come on, that's absurd.
Well, that's my favorite of all time. I can't listen to it enough. It's just ridiculous. It's the best Beavis and Butthead moment ever, but it's absurd.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
I mean, he went for it. I don't think that was completely innocent. I mean,
oh, no, it's completely innocent. That's what makes it all the better, is that he doesn't even think about it. And then the best part is if you had the protracted version, the color analyst has to stop talking. He chuckles. He's like, he doesn't know what to do.
He says it with such passion that he's going 100 miles an hour here.
Well, they're showing, if you recall, they're showing a replay of a great catch, and he's toe tapping, and he's making the catch, and he shows it again. It's just
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
That's okay. Well, if we're gonna do that, come on down, Jim Lamar. It's an annual tradition. We can't just have that one and not run this one, because it is my very favorite local such moment. And by the way, I ran into Jim not all that long ago, and he says that it gets brought up to him that we play this clip that he lives on famously.
So when you were at Florida State, who did you have to beat off to get that guy over in Tallahassee?
It's just ridiculous.
I heard he called me a name when
he did.
Yeah.
But, he did so with a lot of kindness in his heart.
There was love in there?
It was a lot of love.
I was a little worried.
He did call you a name. But he knows that we play that clip on a loop and that we're never not going to play that clip on a loop. It's perfect.
Well, it needs to be something that perhaps we ask Coach Taggart when National Signing Day is over, because we had the most amazing turn of events with our signing class, got into the top 5.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy the way it turned out. We'll ask him this exact question.
So when you were at Florida State, who did you have to beat off to get that guy over in Tallahassee?
Well, Jim, recruiting has changed. We don't have to do some of the things that you may be implying there. Fortunately, we just offered him a scholarship. Simple as that. There's no funny stuff.
Alabama's a good program.
I don't know what you want me to say. Urban Meyer's first role after retiring from coaching is going to take him back to Ohio State. It's at the business school where he is, that's right, going to teach a course on leadership and ethics. That's not a joke. That's a real story. Quote, Urban Meyer brings extensive leadership experience and a unique perspective to students seeking to engage with the top leaders in the business world. The course will leverage Coach Meyer's professional insights, challenges, and successes, as well as the military experiences of co-instructor, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Buchanan, to help inform students as they develop their individual leadership styles. Ethics.
So, Ohio State didn't truly want to part with him. They just can't get rid of this guy.
The leadership course taught by Buchanan and Meyer will meet 3 times per week during the spring semester and accommodate up to 198 students. He is also going to begin a role in Ohio State's athletic department, assisting athletic director Gene Smith. He said he doesn't anticipate to return to coaching. Good Lord.
So if you got a bad grade, or let's say you got a question wrong that Urban covered in the lecture, could you go up to him and challenge it and say you never taught that? Because he has a problem remembering things.
Cannot remember.
Maybe you can actually challenge and win something.
But what Meyer would tell you is you need to ask the lieutenant colonel. He doesn't forget things. I frequently forget what I even said to you an hour ago, but Lieutenant Colonel here, Buchanan, has got it down. Ask him.
He's my PR shield here. I mean, co-instructor for this course.
That is exactly how that would go. Yeah. No, it's that's something. Ohio State can't figure out the whole PR thing, or they don't care. They don't care.
It's got to be the second one.
It has to be that's just double middle finger. Oh, it's a Nick Saban approach. If you get fired and shamed from your previous job, but no football, come on down. I need an analyst. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Rattler Review, hosted by the Tallahassee Democrats' Rory Chirac, every Friday at 6 p.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Hey sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
Eat, sleep, fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with the Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay Series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637. Online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
Hi, I'm President John Thrasher. I'm here with some of our outstanding marching chiefs. They've been invited to an incredible opportunity, and they need your help. Next June, the marching chiefs will travel to France and represent both the state of Florida and the United States at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy. As both an Army veteran and the president of the university dedicated to student veteran success, I know what a meaningful opportunity this is for these talented musicians. But experiences like this can be out of reach for many students. So today, I'm asking for your support so we can send as many of our marching chiefs as possible to this monumental event. Visit give.fsu.edu/Normandy. Thank you, and go Noles!
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the social agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for the all-new Kraft Infinity, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Kraft Infinity purchased all inventory at a discounted price. We want to pass those savings on to you. Kraft Infinity has 85 new vehicles in stock, both 2018s and 2019s, and all will be sold at invoice pricing, plus up to $3,000 winter bonus cash on most models. So come look at Kraft Infinity before you buy, and dare to compare us to Mercedes, BMW, Acura, Cadillac, and Lexus. You will not buy or lease a luxury vehicle for less. And Infinity's quality and value is second to none. Drive a 2018 QX80 for $695 a month, or a 2019 QX60 for $395 a month, with only $2,500 in cash or trade equity due at delivery. Plus, all trade-ins are $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book. Kraft Infinity, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft Brothers, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, next to Ted's Montana Grill. Lease payments are plus tax for 39 months with 10,000 miles per year through Infinity Financial Service with approved credit.
It's Golick and Wingo.
I really think down the stretch what makes this Saints team, and to me, Mike, what separates it from really every other team, they can win a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
That's the old Bill Belichick line. Boys, we can win a lot of different ways. If you look at this Saints team now, they can go points of Palooza with the passing game, and then you have the cephalopod, Alvin Kamara, who is just so slippery, it seems like anyone can ever get a really good tackle on him. And then you have the way they can play defense.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Short segment here, real quick. We were talking about recruiting yesterday. I think the number one thing that goes awry when these debates happen on Twitter, or people take something you say or a snippet of something you say, and I'm not even saying this in a way that meaning that they had an agenda or anything, but if you take a snippet and not the entirety of a conversation or the overall theme of what somebody is saying, look, what I said yesterday about the recruiting class was that it was underwhelming. Not that we didn't get talent, not that we didn't fill some needs. We did. And hopefully these are kids that help change the culture in the locker room to boot. They have to be able to play football. Obviously, you don't recruit them otherwise. So I get that we got our fair share of good players, this week. And I get that we missed out on some too, but that the overall vibe is that it's a little underwhelming, that you didn't get a bounty of elite 5-star players. And no, not all 5-star players work out, but I'll tell you what, I'd like to stockpile them as opposed to 2 and 3 stars. That doesn't mean that there aren't 3 stars that can really play and really help you. I get that. And there are a lot of ways to go about this, but to suggest that I'm just looking for guys that fit a system and I'll sacrifice a 5-star repeatedly to do so. No. I'd rather have more of those than the other. Of course.
Yeah, me too. I think what we were talking about, too, was that you need bodies that believe in the right things and they hate losing. And they've got a chip on their shoulder and an attitude that helps flip this thing. You need a special type of player to help flip a culture and lead that way. Dante Lucas, by all indications.
Maybe that kid.
As long as he can play, then yes, he will.
He's also a 4-star player. He's an elite player who has the right attitude, we think.
Well, as long as he's not a bust, then yes, he's going to be that type of person. You know, LaMarcus Joyner was the one, and he was a 5-star by most accounts.
Yes.
But he was also the right type of person to help change people in the way they think about things. Well,
I think what we're saying is ideally, if you can find a 5-star who fits that mold and you're in this crisis that we're in, then by all means. But if you can't, obviously then, if you have to settle on, quote, unquote, a 4 or 3-star kid, let's hope he's part of that group that engineers and engenders a shift.
It doesn't mean that you need to be a 3-star to be that type of player. Not at all.
No.
But, give me a couple of kids in this class, and if there are some more 3-stars that are this way, that have been told no sometimes. Because that's what this program's been told no. They were told no 7 times this year out of 12 games. You need somebody who's got that chip on their shoulder, and you're making some lemonade here. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but let's...
But every commit matters in this class. There's some years where you take some chances, and if these kids don't hit, no big deal. Every single one
because
matters.
We're not in a place where the margin for error is as great as it used to be. That's exactly why. I mean, when you're loaded for bear and you are winning championships and you're dominating, if you whiff on a kid, you whiff on a kid. It's a little bit like what we used to see back in the early 2000s with the Yankees going out and grabbing free agents, and if the guy fell on his face, they had the money to erase the mistake. But, that's... We're not in that place right now. We need to hope that these kids certainly come in and are ready to play and can help change what we're talking about in the locker room as well.
And that's the concerning thing here is I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but all eyes this year are on our ability to have scouted these players. And then do we hit? Like, what's our hit rate on these guys? Were we right? And can we develop them? And can we develop them quickly, especially in the offensive line?
Underrated aspect of the conversation is how towards the end, the previous coaching staff was failing to develop players. We had a lot of players that were well thought of that came into the class from a couple of years ago that haven't emerged as real good players, and some that haven't gotten any better than when they arrived, and some that have not seen the field despite those lofty rankings. So no matter what player you get, whether it's a 3-star or 5-star, obviously a coaching staff is tasked with the ability to get the most out of them, teach them the game the way you want them to play it, and develop them as players. And if you're not doing that, it doesn't matter. So, there's a lot at the feet right now of this staff, and that includes seeing an uptick in elite talent that you bring in here and developing the ones that aren't ready to play as soon as they get here. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with. I think I know what you're going for there.
Christmas time?
That's what I thought. Great. That's my favorite Christmas song.
It is a great Christmas song.
It's perfect. It is Christmas time.
They were the first band that did all that. Like all those guys together doing something for somebody.
Band-Aid?
Band-Aid, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Sting and Bono and all of them.
Yeah, Bono was there. Bono was there.
Yeah, it was all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Christmas time. It is a time for those great Cuban sandwich trays, Jeff.
Pickles. Oh, baby. The pickles are always so crisp on those things.
I am the king of pickleness.
I like that, too. It's not a word, but it's an action.
Pickleness is a word. It certainly is. I just said it.
If you feel better about calling yourself the king of pickle. I'm not going to argue that you guys are the kings of the pickle. Gordos is the king of the pickle, but pickleness is not a word.
Pickleness? OMG, SMDH. Those all became words. Why not pickleness?
Those are abbreviations.
Well,
can you get an abbreviation for pickleness?
Pickleness?
Gordos, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out your truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're number one by far.
Great gift ideas are here at Truck and Car Concepts Christmas Sale Event. Backup cameras as low as $3.99. High-tech DVD players starting at $5.99. Plus a layaway program and gift certificates.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop for tripping out your truck. Truck and Car Concepts, people with their cars, we're number one by far.
Superior sound systems as low as $2.99. Plus special pricing for custom packages at Truck and Car Concepts across from Kraft Nissan on Mayan Drive. See store for details.
Truck and Car Concepts, we're your one-stop shop, we always aim to please. Truck and Car Concepts, everything is here from A to Z.
Call 656-8800.
If you enjoyed Welcome to Rockville over the years, get ready for May 3rd, 4th, and 5th at Metropolitan Park in Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to Rockville 2019. Tool, Korn, Rob Zombie, Judas Priest, Shinedown, Prodigy, Incubus. Mantra. With Bring Me the Horizon, Papa Roach, Evanescence, Chevelle, The Cult, The Struts. In this moment, 3 days, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all ticket and lineup info. Tool, Judas Priest, Rob Zombie, Incubus, Korn, Shinedown, and so many more. Florida's #1 rock festival. Welcome to Rockville. This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
If both the Eagles and Redskins win next week and the Cowboys lose, the Cowboys will come to East Rutherford, New Jersey for the season finale in a must-win situation. Oh, my Lord. I'd be laughing all week long because you know how the Dallas Cowboys do under pressure, don't we? When they're under pressure, pressure breaks pipes. Pressure breaks Dallas.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. Several small market NBA GMs are expressing dismay that the league isn't looking into tampering charges over the recent public comments made by LeBron James endorsing the Lakers to pursue a trade with the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, with one Eastern Conference GM telling ESPN that it's New Orleans' problem today and a problem for a different player tomorrow for the rest of us. Lakers take on the Pelicans tonight. It's at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN TV and the app. It's Game 2 of an ESPN NBA doubleheader. Game 1 features the Bucks against the Celtics at 8 Eastern. NFL, Tampa Bay will get receiver Deshaun Jackson back for Sunday's game against the Cowboys. Jackson has missed the last 3 games with a thumb injury. Giants wideout Odell Beckham will miss his 3rd straight game with a quad injury when New York visits Indianapolis on Sunday. Yesterday, NFL announcing that Patriots receiver Josh Gordon has been suspended indefinitely for violating the terms of his conditional reinstatement under the league's drug policy. ESPN's Darren Woodson.
Addiction is a disease, man.
It is.
And there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm listening to this story about Josh Gordon yesterday, and you're like, people just think that, there's a switch. You can just turn it on and turn it off. There's no switch. This is every day is a win. Every day is a win. Every single day you got to count it that way. And that's the way I feel about this kid. This is not about football. I mean, we got to get past that point. This is about this young man's life because he has the rest of his life that he has to win every single day.
Darren Woodson on Golick and Wingo. Baseball, a 3-team trade centers around the A's getting infielder Jurickson Profar from the Rangers. Rays, the 3rd team. Tampa Bay and Texas getting prospects part of the deal. Bahamas Bowl at the half. Florida International leads Toledo 14-10. It's on ESPN.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do, we got you. Tom, you'd have been proud of me, buddy. I'm getting good at... You like spinach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd like it by itself, unless it's a salad setting.
You like sauteed spinach?
That's what I'm getting at. I don't know.
I think you'd like mine.
Yeah.
I'm getting good at it. I spice it up. I do some things. I mix up a lot of different things with it. Put a little oil in there. And
what do you mix in there, like onions or what?
Oh, sometimes. But a lot of times it's just different spices. And then I know you don't like butter, so I wouldn't use butter for you. I'd just do olive oil or something.
Yeah.
And I put it in the pan there, and I shuffle it around, and I mix it up with my hands. Sometimes I almost burn myself, and I get after it a little bit, and then it's just the right texture. It's delicious. You fill a giant bowl, and you're going to say to yourself, Cameron's got this spinach thing down. I should bring it in one day.
Okay.
I want you to try it.
Yeah.
I think you'd like it.
I mean, I'm not averse to it, again, if it's just like a leafy green salad or...
Well, that's just cold. This is warm.
Yeah.
You know, this is...
It's probably weird.
It's not weird. I mean, you've had spinach that's warmed up, like
I guess.
chopped spinach. Haven't you had that?
No, but I mean, if I get a salad with... like grilled chicken on it or something, then it warms up the spinach. I mean, I think that's about the closest I've come.
You haven't gotten... So you know the bricks of spinach that you can get in the frozen vegetables aisle?
Yeah.
You've never had that?
No.
In your life?
In my life, no.
What in the world are we uncovering here? You've never had that. You put it in a bowl. You throw it in the microwave. You put it, 2 minutes, and then you've just got a plate of spinach. It's hot as Hades. Now, you don't like butter, but you usually put butter on it. Put a little salt. A little salt on there.
A little salt, maybe a little salad dressing.
Instead, maybe. A little something like that. It is delicious.
Hot spinach, huh?
You've not had the hot...
No, never had spinach on a pizza either. I know that some people put that on.
Yeah, I do. I put it on there.
My mom did, but she would get it with the white pizza, which has that creamy sauce, and I can't go there. But
so she would get like the margarita pizza, like the...
Yeah, I mean, they call it like the white pizza.
Yeah.
And then top it with spinach. Sometimes some diced tomatoes.
Did Justin Fields decide to go elsewhere?
Already?
Did I see? Has this been decided? Do we know? They just keep talking about Ohio State. I can't see.
I'm not aware of him making a final decision.
All right.
I think we would have gotten emails and calls and people saying that they're off us for life with the program and stuff. I'm not kidding.
It has been that kind of week, and I'm ready for the week to be over. I'm ready to go bowling United. I'm ready to put our troubles behind us, and I don't think they're that I don't think the mountain's that high to climb. I really do think that we'll be okay. It doesn't feel that way right now, and I understand the frustration, and I share some of it. But, man, you're right. Our inbox is nothing but people going, no! No! I think the early signing period has caused people to be crazier.
Well, yeah, it affects their holidays. I think actually, you know what? It catches them when they're vulnerable. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Because they're tired of shopping.
Double whammy because we didn't make it to a bowl.
Right. So they're tired of shopping. They're doing the traveling, last second thing.
Down, yep.
And then you've got to gear up because a lot of people don't have family that they like to go see. That's unfortunate. I'm lucky in that regard.
Right.
But you got to kind of just bow up and be ready for the awkwardness and all that kind of stuff. And so this early signing period happens right in the middle of that process. So they're already angry. They want some good news in their life, and they don't get any.
Well, the other news out of college football, besides these bowl games that I'm steady cashing in on, is the is the fact that UCF's AD, Danny White, said that the school was walking away from negotiations with the University of Florida for that 2-for-1 deal. And what I say to that is, screw you, I'm never vouching for you guys again. This is how it works. You're not on the same stage, man. You have to take deals like this if you want to be taken seriously. That's what's good. They offered you a 2-for-1. That's how it works,
And that's what
man.
you wanted, right?
And they said no, wasn't fair, walking away from negotiations with Florida. So I don't want to hear when you have another great year and you're not in contention.
But also, let's not pretend that this is something that UCF has never done. They've had home and homes with South Carolina and Texas in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, UCF's been able to get this done before. Are they scaring programs more now? Sure. But honestly, when you sign these deals, typically the program is very different the moment that you play the game versus the moment you sign the line.
But Danny White has been talking about how people will not play UCF, how difficult it is for them to improve their schedule, and for all the talk about why they are on the outside looking in, he's been very frustrated. And he has said to people, well, listen, everybody tells us schedule better, and we try. If you only knew how difficult it was for us to get some of these big schools, especially in the state, to take us on. Well, here you go. Florida said, put up or shut up. We'll give you a 2-for-1. You're not on the same plane as we are. We're not going to acquiesce to a 1-and-1. You're going to do a 2-for-1, and let's get it on. And instead of anytime, anywhere, he backs off and says, well, no, we're not doing that. We're not on the same page. I mean, we think this should be a game for a game. We're not doing 2-for-1 deals. We don't need to do that.
That's what he said?
Basically, yeah. He said that his program didn't need to do 2-for-1 deals and held firm, quote, in his desire. I said a straight home-and-home series with the Gators, they wouldn't do it. Because you're not Florida. Yeah. So we're done.
That's crap.
I'm reading from that story. That's from the AP. That's the story.
USF has been able to schedule a lot of these type games, especially with us. You can't?
Well, and you can't continue to talk about how you're getting screwed when somebody says, well, we're here. We're offering it up right now. Let's play ball. Let's do this thing.
And that's rare for Florida in its history. I mean, that's really rare.
It's still in the state, Tom. They weren't going to leave the state.
Well, but
remember?
I mean, look at Miami as a university institution. True. Florida, I think they're playing next year. Is that right?
Miami, I don't know.
I could have that wrong. But they don't face each other but once every generation. It feels like.
Last time they played, Miami won that game
against all odds. That was ridiculous.
Crazy. Christmas is nearly upon us. It's your chance. Make it happen. Final chance, at least for now, to make it a Christmas present. You want to get the 4-pack from my friends at My Pillow. You know you do. I sounded a little bit like Lee Sterling there for a moment. You want to get the such and such game.
Now, how about this? Coupon code SAVE My Pillow.
Coupon code 979ESPN. That's what we got going here. MyPillow.com. It is their best special ever. Click on the Christmas special. Use my code 979ESPN. You get 2 premium My Pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Again, best price ever for a 4-pack, free shipping, and extended money-back guarantee through March the 1st. MyPillow.com. Click on the Christmas special. Enter that promo code. It's 979ESPN. That's 979ESPN. Make it happen. They extended that warranty all the way through the money-back guarantee, I should say, all the way through March the 1st. It's always a money-back guarantee, but you're not going to want your money back. I'm telling you, you're going to like it. You get 4 of these bad boys. It's a good call. Good call. Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Rattler Review, hosted by the Tallahassee Democrats' Rory Chirac, every Friday at 6 p.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster. This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
In 1945, Jack Whitten started a glass company in Tallahassee. Now, over 70 years and 3 generations later, it's still working every day, doing just as Jack wanted, giving his customers real solutions for replacing window glass, providing custom-cut mirrors, and supplying superior bath and shower enclosures. Local building contractors know Whitten Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. They prefer Whitten because of their precision and mastery of eye-catching storefront glass and countertop glass. It's a fact. When you choose Widden Glass, you're working with real glass people who will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. It's what Jack Widden wanted, and it's been the Widden way of doing business for over 70 years. Widden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. Call Widden Glass today or visit them online, 850-222-5781 or widdenglass.com.
Hey Tallahassee, this is Danny Aller.
And Matthew Crowbaker.
Join us for the Saturday morning bottle share every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Are you interested in helping your son or daughter take their athletic performance to the next level? Hi, my name is Louis Dobosensky, personal trainer at Momentum Fitness on Capitol Circle. With over 14 years of experience training athletes at the high school and collegiate levels, including SMU, LSU, and here at Florida State, I can help you do just that. Call Momentum Fitness today at 850-385-9712 to set up your free consultation with me today. Again, that number is 850-385-9712.
Edwin Watts Golf presents a special holiday offer from TaylorMade. 5 layers, 0 compromises. TP5 and TP5X combine a tri-fast core and dual spin cover for a 5-layer golf ball construction. Now only $34.99. And introducing Gapper, a revolution in long game performance. Available in 3 shapes, promoting 3 trajectories: low, mid, and high. This holiday season, shop Edwin Watts Golf, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Escúchame y Zidane Levatación ESPN Radio.
I love that television has so many of these conceits. The reporter who's walking to the camera while staring at the floor before looking up, that's something that he's doing rehearsed. He's not thinking. When people are walking across a landscape with the famous person they're interviewing, those people are not friends, and they were not having a leisurely walk. That was something they did for the cameras. And so,
wait, when Boog is walking from third to home, they're not friends?
All of it is a contrivance. Boog can have friends, but the doing of television in the broadcastery way is a contrivance.
90 feet. I mean, you walk 90 feet with someone and have a conversation, I feel like your friend.
All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Fine. If you walk 90 feet with someone and have a conversation, are you friends? That is about how you would do the math on that. I could walk 900 years with someone and not be their friend. I've done it for 15 here.
Hey, thanks, Dan.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Libations Friday rolls on. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. No cursing, don't get worried. So, I don't know if you saw this, but in The Athletic, Lombardi was going through and talking about Christmas gifts for every team. And I was curious as to what he would give for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously, who I'm going to talk about more later. But, he talked about culture. He talked about they don't have a winning culture internally and that they need to understand that culture wins. And it's interesting because my teams, this is the conversation for my teams right now. And it seems like you can just slap that term onto anything that is failing and cite culture as the problem, but that's not always true either. Sometimes it's just you're not good enough. Sometimes you don't have the players. I think it may be nothing could be truer than the Bucs culture failing them, and that being a big part of the problem because they got talent. They're way better than 5-9, and let's say they're going to lose to Dallas this weekend. They'll be 5-10. Who's the final game against?
Atlanta. Could go either way.
Could go either way. Well, let's say they win it. Give it to them. They're way from a talent standpoint. They're a lot better than 6-10. There's just no reason, and that has to be about what's going on behind the scenes. Because losing O.J. Howard really hurt them. It really hurt them. But there's enough talent on offense here to win 8 games, or 9 games even.
Oh, you had a couple of them that you gave away straight up. The Washington game is a joke. You have the most yards ever to not score a touchdown, in the history of the league. So 20-20, you're just going up and down the field. I mean, what was it, over 450 yards? It was at least 400.
Crazy game.
And you don't score a touchdown. You score 3 bleeping points.
Against sorry-ass Washington.
Yeah. The Cincinnati game was a game ripe for the picking. Jameis found a way to lose that one. And then the Giants game's on Cutter for not going back to Jameis. So there's 3 of them right there. The NFL, you can always do this, but for the Bucs, those are easy examples. Those are low-hanging fruit. That's like the tree's hanging down by your feet. That's how low that fruit's hanging.
But we don't ever win those games. Like, that's our big problem, right? We do this a lot. We don't win those games.
The Cleveland team that is much different than the one that's playing right now. But that game, they lost it more than we did. That was 2 teams competing to see who will lose this game, and Cleveland won out.
They did, however, lose to a 59-yard field goal from a guy who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 7 yards.
He's got that moment forevermore in his life.
I mean,
that is the longest
really
overtime
funny.
game-winning kick of all time. And you have to say game-winning in overtime because if you kick one down the first possession, the game's not over.
That really makes me laugh, though. I mean, you think about how if you're Cleveland, you really.
Well,
that's going through.
And also, man, think about that Pittsburgh Monday night game. Fitzpatrick loses that thing for you, and you have a Deshaun Jackson kick return for a touchdown that's called back for a hold where?
Yeah.
Did it have any bearing on the play?
Yeah.
I don't know that it did, because if that's a house call, that's a win, is what that is.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you what, it's getting old. I didn't realize there are staggering numbers associated with the Bucs' incompetence and ineptitude dating post-Super Bowl. I don't know if I was willfully ignorant, just chose to not delve into the numbers. But when you're in the bottom 5 in the league in so many embarrassing categories as far as wins and winning percentage and playoff or lack thereof appearances and all that, it's just we won the Super Bowl and fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I think the perfect way to encapsulate it visually is to remember what happened Monday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers when Chris Conte got shoved to the ground by McDonald for the Steelers. Remember the stiff arm?
Oh, my God.
That's what
One
our
of my
organization
favorite plays of all time.
Yes, and it happened to us. That's what our organization has been since the Super Bowl.
Well, we were at Bumpus watching that game, and
Yes.
I'll never forget just our reaction. I was like, oh, sir, that man is married. He has a family. What you just did to him should be illegal in all 50 states. That was as emasculating a moment on a football field, and we've seen some doozies. Nothing will top Greg Jones doing what he did in the North Carolina game.
Yes. Dexter Reed.
Dexter Reed being picked up off the ground and thrown 5 yards, and he'd still be flying if he had went into
that was the booth.
Whoa! That is a strong man.
Woo! That's insane.
Yeah, nothing will ever top that. That was a moment where I went, oh, I felt terrible for that guy. He got punched in the face and sent flying. But this is right there with it. It was a close second what happened there. That was.
Where would you rank my T-box theatrics from years ago?
Which one?
Just the drive off the tee.
Oh, when the other drive had occurred?
Yeah. Top 10?
Well, it was good.
And like real life moments.
Yeah,
not
here's what
TV
I think.
moments.
I think the person who was on the wrong end of that didn't even hear it, didn't even understand what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just talking about the raw.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And then you were like, Jeff.
Yeah.
Because I said something. Oh, my goodness. Well, and that was just, it reminded me a little bit of, and this is maybe an oversimplification, but Dustin Johnson being paired with Zach Johnson when I was down at Doral.
Oh, my.
I followed.
Different sport.
It was incredible.
But what's awesome is Zach Johnson is going to go to the Hall of Fame, right?
Right. You can win in that sport. You don't have to do, and so is Dustin. But that day, I felt so bad for him because there are 3 or 4 holes on that course where if you're a man, you can really have some fun on that course. But Zach's got to be over here with his 7-iron playing to the bailout, and Holmes is whoosh, and they would go to stand by their respective golf balls, and they were literally 120 yards apart.
Tiger's walking down the other fairway. Jesus, Jack. Hit a lob wedge. Get up there with Dustin. Oh, wait, sorry for you. Hit an 8-iron. Get up there.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. I wasn't going to touch on this story, but I think I will now. What in the world? So you had a referee, did you see this? Make a kid cut his dreads before wrestling?
What?
Yeah. It's a high school wrestling story. A high school referee in New Jersey made a wrestler choose between cutting his dreadlocks or forfeiting his match on Wednesday of this week.
Like totally off, or were they below the waist or something, or what?
They had to cut him off. They had to, and I'm looking at the pictures here of the dreadlocks, and they're not. Oh, first of all, let me just start and go back over here. What? Why in the hell am I cutting off dreadlocks to wrestle? You can go to hell. I'll put it in a cap or something or whatever we got to do here, but I'm not cutting my you know how long it takes to grow dreadlocks? No, sir. Also, by the way, if I had hair and had the ability, I'd grow dreadlocks. I've always wanted to.
Badass.
They're awesome. They're awesome. If I were African American and I could have dreadlocks, I would, and they'd be down to my ass.
If I were me and I could have dreadlocks, I'd still do it.
Right. But it appears to be an easier thing to do if you have a different texture of hair.
We're all not Gary Oldman, you know?
Which is incredible
Yeah.
in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's one of my favorite scenes. But I'm saying, I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out of ignorance. But, you know, when I think of Bob Marley's dreadlocks, I think that's an awesome look. That is an awesome look. And so many other guys that have had dreadlocks over the years. Anyhow, the point is this. I don't understand why you would have to cut them off to wrestle. And the story reads as follows. So I'm reading the AP story on this. A high school wrestling referee in New Jersey made a wrestler choose between cutting his dreadlocks or forfeiting his match on Wednesday. Buena, New Jersey regional high school wrestler Andrew Johnson had his dreadlocks covered before his 120-pound match against Oakrest High athlete David Flippin. Referee Alan Maloney told Johnson he could either cut his hair or forfeit the match. Johnson chose the former. After going the haircut route, Johnson won the match. I'm glad he won. However, the conversation certainly did not end there, as social media lit up with comments about the referee offering the ultimatum to a young black wrestler that he had to cut his dreadlocks. Maloney has been accused of racism before. There was a story in the Courier-Post in 2016 about this. He was accused of directing a slur at another referee at a private gathering between officials at a condominium. Maloney allegedly poked referee Preston Hamilton in the chest and used a slur during an argument over wine. Over wine. That's just funny, admittedly. That's just funny.
So that's what broke you, huh? That you're arguing about, Pinot Noir.
The Courier-Post reported that Hamilton slammed Maloney to the ground. He was the African-American who the slur was directed at. Rightfully responded in kind with a, "Get you some of this." Maloney told the Courier-Post he didn't remember making that remark, but he did accept the eyewitness's account of what occurred. So he doesn't deny that he said it.
So he's got a track record.
So he's got a track record.
Yeah.
That's the point. And he did go on to say at that time, "Hey, people make mistakes. I apologized." Oh, man. So, look, dude, no. And what I would ask here is, why didn't that kid's coach or parents at that point say, "What are we doing here? There's no rules against a kid having dreadlocks to wrestle. You can go to hell."
Yeah, apparently he was going to wear a cap.
Yeah.
And the referee said that's not good enough.
Oh, no. Ass-kicking Central's going on here. There's no way. If that's my kid, no. Now, I don't know the situation. I don't know if it was like a middle of the afternoon event and the parents couldn't be there. So
well, I saw the photos. That's why I was asking her, like, are they below his waist or something? I mean, is it just ridiculous? And so the referee said, Jesus, guys, I mean, can't get that out of the way. Remember, like, Al Harris's dreads, for Green Bay?
Oh, yeah,
those things got to be, like, super, super long.
Those were incredible, though.
Yes. I was below his number.
I was envious of them. I always thought, that's the best.
This is nothing, man. I don't know what this guy's problem is.
I think we know.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Forgive me. The track record suggests we know exactly what this guy's problem is.
That's the crazy story. I've never heard of that, and I wanted to know, was I in the wrong here? Because I saw this, I read this story, and I wanted to talk about it the other day, and we're kind of a loosey-goosey addition to the show today, of course. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I'll bring it up today. Am I in the wrong? Do I not know the rules there? I didn't wrestle. I didn't wrestle in high school. I have no idea. And I admire wrestlers because that's like hard as hell to do. That I do know. But I There's no such rule that I've ever heard of where you can't have dreads. You can't. I mean, I had a buddy who wrestled had a green mohawk that was 40 stories high. I don't recall him having to cover it up or anything like that.
Amputees that wrestle, man.
Yeah,
They kick some ass.
What are we doing? Man, somebody in New Jersey's got to step up here. Man, you can go to hell, Maloney.
That sounds like a little bit of Jersey. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does Jersey have that reputation?
The Northeast can in general.
Well,
New
but
York's
it's
not immune from it.
No, I understand that there's racism all over the country. I'm not saying that.
I know
I'm
that
saying,
Boston is like famous for it.
Of course. But I'm saying, is Jersey akin to Mississippi? I mean, what's going on in Jersey?
I don't know that it's akin to Mississippi, but
nothing could be.
No.
Nothing could
Where do you
be.
go with that?
Yeah, there's nowhere to go with it. We'll leave it alone. I had no idea. I'm really naive here. In this situation, I had no idea. But I read that. I thought that has to be. I mean, what else could that be? And damn it, I wanted somebody to say for that kid, no, don't cut your dreads. Tell this guy to go to hell.
I'm telling you, if my dad ever bothers to come up here for a longer period of time,
we'll
than
have
like
this
a quick
conversation.
Brooklyn in the 70s. I mean, you just get him going on Brooklyn in the 70s.
Oh, but I think I know where that conversation is.
It was
going.
like
That's a different
melting
conversation.
pot type, time in a place where.
Well,
I mean, you could have
you
shows.
can watch those movies though; it's great.
But you could have shows like All in the Family and the Jeffersons
Right.
on television, and nobody thought twice about it because people spoke for real, man.
Oh,
there were real conversations.
Well,
people too afraid now compared to that,
Right, and there's elements of that is you can appreciate. You can appreciate and have
That's what
fun
he's
with.
saying. He's like, at least.
But there are also elements of that are just abhorrent, where you're going, well, what are we doing here?
But that's why you talk about his bar, where they had. I mean, it was like the United Nations in his bar, and it was.
That's a good bar.
Yeah.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. You think the relationship between Jameis Winston and Dirk Cutter is repaired to some degree? I'm going to ask you this question. I want to see if you've noticed that they are interacting much better these days. There's fist bumps and conversation and all this other stuff. I find it fascinating.
Yes, I think there's freedom in the futility of Dirk Cutter's job status, and I think that allowed him to break down a wall that may have been his undoing. Because I agree. There was the field goal drive, the one we had to stop for a field goal. Jameis makes a throw. He comes back to the sidelines, and Dirk checks with him, what did you see? And then
then they dapped.
Then they dapped afterwards. Yeah, I think they are actually in a decent place right now as he's walking out the door to be fired.
Well, we assume as much. He's 19-27 with Tampa Bay, and here's the deal. I mean, yes, you guys know if you listen that I am a proponent of getting rid of him. But admittedly, I'm also hamstrung to some degree by the pull of stability. What I mean by that is I get that it is not productive for an organization to be in a steady fire your coach mode, which is what Tampa Bay has been in perpetuity, going back to the end of Gruden's time. It is one after the other that comes in here, and within 2 years, we're asking that they be gone. I mean, we pretty much don't want whoever it is we're hiring to be there after 2 years, Tom. It's you know, that conversation begins. And in the modern NFL, if you have a 413 winning percentage and you have a franchise quarterback and you're not getting better, as in you got worse after you had a quick rise to obviously a winning record. You went from horrible to, 9-7? To haven't been any good since?
2 to 6 to 9. It was 2 previous to Jameis, and then Jameis rookie year 6, then 9, and then back down we go.
Well, and Dirk wasn't the head coach for Jameis's rookie season, so
correct.
Just giving him credit. You know, Dirk brought it up, and then it crashed and burned. I guess you have to marry the conversation between, and this is where Dirk is in trouble, because you would always want to look at two things: the GM and the head coach, because any new GM that you bring in is going to want to hire his guy. So they're joined at the hip, and you would be hard pressed to justify retaining Jason Light. So start with him. Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, are 27-51 in Jason Light's 5 seasons as a GM. That is the 4th worst record in the NFL during that span. Of the worst teams, Jacksonville is 25-53. Has kept the same GM for 6 years in David Caldwell, though Tom Coughlin was brought in to make decisions.
Oh, yes.
Okay. You've got San Francisco's 25-53 in that time. They changed GMs in 2017. The Browns, are 17-60-1. 17-60-1. They've changed GMs twice in the same 5 years. They're the definition of instability, although they got a little something working right now, so we'll see. But so no current GM has been in charge longer without a playoff appearance than Jason Light. And I got to guess Jason's as good as gone. And if he's as good as gone, Dirk is as good as gone.
Well, and that's the problem here is I just looked up the contract details while you were talking about that to see if it's a firing or a non-renewal. But Jason Light did get an extension through the 2019 football season, so he would technically be fired. Remember, he was a lame duck, and we were wondering, are they going to extend this dude, or is he going to be coaching on a rental agreement? But they did extend him. So technically speaking, Jason would be fired, and Dirk has a 5-year deal, so he would be fired. He's in the tail end of that 5-year contract. But the hard part here is if you're a Tampa fan, I think this is pretty simple. You need a director of football operations. You need a buffer from the Glazers. You got to have a football person to dictate things downhill, and it might need to be a title above a general manager.
I guess so. I don't feel like the Glazers interfere. I don't feel like they screw this up because they're meddling in the same way that Jerry Jones meddles. I don't feel like that's the problem there. Now, this is a poorly run organization. I'm not arguing with you there. The owner isn't the reason that the Bucs, I think, are failing to some extent. They're not exclusively the reason.
They're not exclusively the reason. They're not. Yeah, Jerry Jones is the general manager, and Dan Snyder in Washington is involved in personnel decisions. We know those types of owners. The Bucs aren't necessarily like that, But if you have this many consecutive hires that suck, that says something about you.
Well, I think certainly that I'd love to know the inner workings. They have money. They're not. It hasn't always been that they weren't willing to spend money. It's just weird.
No, they spend in free agency.
Yeah,
I mean, but they tabbed Light as the guy, and some of the free agent signings we made are terrible. Some are good, but
JPP's been great.
Well, Light has enough evidence if you wanted to make a case to keep him, but the more overwhelming evidence is the negative stuff, draft picks and signings. He's gotten some right, but he's gotten a lot of stuff woefully wrong.
It's just hard when you're 27 and 51 during that time period, man. You're done dealing. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got to decide, is Jameis progressing? Because you're going to keep Jameis Winston. I just think he's shown enough now that you've got to do that. You see how hard it is for teams to find a franchise quarterback? It's so difficult to find a guy that can fill that role. And I think he is showing that he can do that. You'd be apprehensive if you thought that there were going to be problems down the line behaviorally, like something off the field. I think fewer and fewer people are concerned about that. I think his outward behavior is suggesting huge strides in maturity. And I think that, again, I harped on this point. I know it wasn't always a popular thing to do in the midst of the controversy, but the incident that got him suspended this year was from over 2 years ago. The necessary changes in his life post that incident had already occurred. We were actually just kind of, I understand it was current in the suspension and that it's letting your team down as a leader, but the incident was old. So he hasn't shown signs of making those kinds of egregious errors in over 2 years.
But the problem was, I think, where people really wanted to revisit that discussion is, well, okay, so then you have to go look at his first 3 and 4 years in his career and say, he wasn't no saint. Like the defense of him coming out of Florida State, while correct in terms of the legal process and making sure that things were clearly stated, I mean, clearly he was immature for the first few years as a franchise quarterback. He failed in that regard.
Well, hold on. Yes and no. The on-field product was overwhelmingly positive in the first 3 years in the league.
But it's about more than that when you're the number 1 overall pick.
Agreed. So when you're making that decision as to whether or not you're going to extend him, keep him, make him your franchise quarterback, you take it all into account. I agree with that. But the on-the-field was exceptional. Not charged with crimes. Okay, now that situation with the Uber driver is not a good one. It's a bad look, and it's immature. It's a lot of things.
It could be devious if it's true.
Could have been. But what we have seen is a mature Jameis Winston, and the product on the field is one you would invest in. And the incident was 2 years old. So, again, I think we're far enough removed to make a better decision. Look, I'm not trying to just absolutely throw out that was something to look into and to talk about and to consider. But I am saying that if we're sitting here evaluating now where the Bucs go next, I'm of the mindset that he's shown enough maturity on and off the field over the last couple of seasons in dealing with an injury and all of those things. He was very professional, time in and time out at the dais and not rolling his head coach, and he had numerous opportunities to lay it at the feet of Dirk Cutter, and he wouldn't do it. I think that shows growth. I think that shows maturity beyond his years, frankly. And he's played well this year since coming back after having been benched. I think it humbled him. I think he understands that it's not a joke. We're not telling you to stop throwing interceptions and stop being yourself because we feel like that's the thing we want to say. No, we're telling you that because if you don't, we're moving on. Yeah. You've got to stop being so flippant with these decisions in the red zone.
Yeah, I think... Well,
or not just the red zone.
I guess the reason I only bring that up is just to complete the chapters on his first few years and say now there's positives and negatives. It's not just about the plateaus he hit that only Dan Marino had hit in terms of total yards or the raw numbers he was racking up.
Well, they also won 9 games.
He was a good teammate. He's always been a good teammate, but I don't know that he was an effective and good leader.
He was not. You're correct.
There's been a flip in that. There was an initial flip before the season started, but I think after the benching too.
That's been...
I mean, look how under control he is in all facets of what he does in that building now.
And in brutally tough situations, they're playing good defense after good defense right now. They're in a stretch, and now they play Dallas on the road. This is not a favorable
offensive
matchup.
line is fading fast.
So they got a lot of problems, and he's not turning the ball over. he had one pick last week against the Ravens in inclement weather, and
like
it was
30 seconds to go in the game.
No, not that one. That was you're thinking of the previous week where he had the interception at the end of the game that we lost to New Orleans.
Oh, that was New Orleans. Yes,
yeah. No, last week he threw the ball, which I think, by the way, I need Evans to turn around. No, it's at his feet. Turn around.
I know it was, but that was bracketed coverage. It was interesting.
I just need him. It was not a good decision. I think it'd be nice if my man turns around. I mean, he's standing straight up when it's picked off at his feet.
Yeah.
It's also not surprising to me. I'm just going to say this. It's not surprising to me that his interceptions are going way down now that a certain receiver's sitting his ass on the bench.
Mm-hmm. If you believe the report, I didn't read it, so I don't know. But apparently Deshaun Jackson sold his property in Tampa.
Yeah, well, we're not re-upping the last year, that $10 million deal. He can have a good day.
Yes, he can.
There's no way
cancer in the locker room.
No, you're not bringing him back, but I would ask you this. Are you going to bring back – I mean, they got serious questions they have to answer here. First of all, you start with the GM and the head coach. That's where everybody lives, and that's where you got to start. So those are the biggest things. But then you start looking at personnel, and we just alluded to one. There's no way in the world we're going to be bringing back Deshaun Jackson.
Well, and I'm glad Donovan Smith has been terrible these last few weeks. You could argue he's been up and down over his career.
But you can let him go, too?
Well, I mean, that's one of the things where light doubles down on him as a left tackle, and he was adamant that he could be a top-flight left tackle, but that dude's been getting beaten up terribly. And what we've been suffering is a problem in two places, left tackle and right guard. We knew about the right guard situation. That's where Nelson would have overhauled everything about what we are. But left tackle's been terrible. You need tackles in this draft.
You had to do it.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Can you just leave it alone? You know how I feel about this.
Moving forward with Winston, though, you already picked up the option, so why would you cut him? That's crazy person talk. You have another year of him that you can evaluate more with a new coach. Yeah, at $21 million? I know everybody likes to cite that number like it's some, harbinger. No. It's not a dead weight.
No.
I mean, look at what Russell Wilson makes. Look what Carr makes out in Oakland, and tell me that $21 million is a ton of money.
I'm not worried about the money for a franchise quarterback. I need to know.
But you don't have to go sign him to an extension right now either. There is no rush whatsoever. I don't think his camp is in a position, leverage-wise, to start playing the active prima donna athlete who wants a long-term deal either. His PR standing right now is too low for them to make that play, so you let him go into next year.
Yeah, the Bucs will end up giving him an extension. I don't think I don't mean now, but they are going to do that. He's too talented. You watch the games. We continue to watch the games. When you look around the league, you're not going to find that many quarterbacks that start that are anywhere close to as talented as Jameis Winston. Now, again, he doesn't always play to that talent, but he is playing well right now. And listen, you got to decide whether or not Adam Humphries comes back. He's due money. I think he should too. Yeah, I'm saving money on Deshaun, and Adam Humphries is coming back.
Did you hear the stat on the drop rate of it? It's like his drop rate is astronomically low.
Humphries?
Yes, he just catches the damn ball. Whatever position you put him in, he catches the damn ball. You need that, especially when you got a Butterfingers for a star receiver. He's really good, but that happens.
I also would tell Cam Brate to have a good day.
Yes, he's finally starting to deteriorate. O.J. Howard sometimes drops passes, and this is an important 2 weeks for Chris Godwin. I don't care that it's garbage time for the season. I don't know what the hell is going on with him.
Can't catch.
That's not a flu if it's 2 weeks in a row. You know what I'm saying?
And Cam Brate, by the way, is a guy that I used to laud for, catching balls in traffic and somehow getting back up after being decapitated play in and play out.
I think Jameis beat it out of him.
But he doesn't catch those balls anymore, and it's not like he possesses breakaway speed or elusiveness. So if you're not going to catch the tough pass, there's not a place for you here, my friend. And that's what you were making your money on, was the ability, to be dependable. You're there every week, and catch those balls in traffic that Jameis fires at you despite being about to be clothesline.
The inner nerd me is influenced by this, and I shouldn't be, but I at least know enough to know what's happening here. I have a franchise that I play Madden every once in a while, and it's the Bucks. And Cam stonewalled me on contract extension negotiations.
Brate did?
And he walked. And so
said,
for some reason, when I watch him drop a pass, I'm like, "That's right, you sorry ass! You drop a pass, you stonewalled me on fake negotiations."
I used to get so mad about that when I was playing the games. Like, what are we doing here?
What kind of loser am I? That's ridiculous.
This is crazy. How will we handle Quan Alexander? His contract is up, and he's got an ACL.
I feel so bad for that guy because we would have paid, definitely. And I think he wants to stay. I think he likes it.
He's a real good player. But will he continue to be a real good player?
I don't know what you do in that type of negotiation. That would be a great question for a former GM. Is you just got to trust your doctors, I guess is what they'd say,
Well,
right?
these days, man, that's not a curse the way it used to be. The ACL used to be good night, I read.
Yeah, it's not an Achilles.
Not going to happen. No,
yeah, or a hamstring.
Yeah, everybody likes Peyton Barber.
Well, we should have liked him more up in Baltimore. What the hell is wrong with us?
I agree with you in terms of play calling and choices, but
ramming it down their throat. But sure, throw Quiz out there in the shotgun because we're never going to hand it to him in that situation. Dumbasses.
I agree, play calling poor, but I'm not in love with Peyton Barber. I don't think he's anything special.
You don't have to die on that hill, but I
we
think
don't have a damn. We haven't had. We had one good year with the muscle hamster, and we can't find a running back. God Almighty! And Ronald Jones is apparently dumb as a brick.
Yeah,
dumb as a brick.
How do you get that draft pick wrong? Now,
we both liked it.
We did both like it on the surface.
I
but
didn't know he was a dumbass.
Well, that's my thing. You got to learn that. Like on the surface, everything looks fine. So are you drafting off of highlight reels or what? What are we doing here? Because you get the chance to talk to him more than we do.
We had the Boise State kid we brought in couldn't learn the playbook. Remember that? It was on Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah,
that kid couldn't learn the playbook either.
That was alarming.
It was terribly sad. That was that time that they were in the hotel room.
That guy makes it like in life. No, you know what I mean, though? They're like, dude.
Shoveling.
You just
Here's the thing. Here's the deal, man. My man was in the hotel room with James going, no, this is when you – remember that? The whole thing, it was tough.
And then they were, in practice, like, dude, you just got to – it was like the moment, the Coley moment from practice when I was covering the beat.
Oh, yeah, we were watching the tight ends.
Watching the tight ends.
I was with you.
It was Relaford. You were?
Yeah. We both laughed. I cracked up. That was one of those rare times we were right by each other. He was showing him what to do, and they would do it wrong, and he was like –
okay.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember going, "Oh no!" He just showed him, and it was like you're running 10 yards and it was nothing.
No, it was there. Yeah, you don't chip.
You don't chip.
Everybody chipped, and I remember because it was Christian Jones. Yeah. Actually, it was Christian Jones who was he was a freshman, and he had the penny on to be scout team or whatever. And he goes, guys, you don't chip. Guys, no, guys, you don't. You just release it to your route.
They kept doing
it. And they kept doing it. So he blew the whistle. He was yelling through his visor. He was so mad. And then he finally blew the whistle. And he said, guys, come in.
Yeah, he got real quiet.
You don't chip here. The whole point of this drill is just to release in the route. Okay, guys? He was whispering. It was like he was in a library.
Well, yeah, because the yelling wasn't working. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with. the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week and next. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live. Via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but hey, if you do, I got you. All 3 hours posted upon conclusion of the show, both the iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can email us if you like, jcs@ESPNradio.com. Appreciate your emails. Keep them coming. Read them all. Don't always get back to you, but I appreciate the sentiment, the fodder, all that's good news. Doing the show on YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. ESPN Tallahassee there. You can watch us do our radio duties there. You can also watch on Periscope if you follow at 979 ESPN Radio on Twitter. And would note the WTSM app is a good one. It's free for all your mobile devices, and you can find the show there as well. Florida State plays basketball tomorrow against St. Louis. So it should be a good game. St. Louis is 8-3, I think I saw.
Yeah.
I have not watched St. Louis play this year. I'm going to have to go by the numbers.
Well, it's a 2:30 tip, and they caught the attention of Leonard Hamilton so much so he brought them up in his post-game press conference before he really it went that way against North Florida. And by that, I mean typically the last question in the post-game press conference is about the upcoming game, so the writers can have something to use for a preview article. But he was talking about his rotations on Wednesday. We've got a very good St. Louis team. And he said that I think last year with Oklahoma State, our guys were more concerned about packing their bags and going to see Santa Claus than they were, quote-unquote, about playing that game. But St. Louis has our full attention. So clearly in their advanced scouting, they said, ooh, these guys could be a problem for us.
Are the net rankings, these laughable new ranking factors, are they playing into Florida State's drop every time they win a game? Have you noticed that Florida State just continues to drop despite not losing basketball games?
It's an asinine system. This is the one that we talked about.
Yeah,
where
I'm just wondering if it's weighing in because Lenardi moved us from a 4 to a 5 to a. I mean, we just keep dropping in everybody's.
Well, this is how the NCAA apparently is going to assess the tournament seedings, is to look at these rankings that are completely a farce.
Are they? I don't know. Are they required to do that?
That's what they said. They're replacing the RPI and using this system. Now, the conspiracy theory is if this thing sucks, that the committee's just going to do what it wants to do, and then they'll fix this. But this was supposed to replace RPI straight up.
Yeah, you want to know what the 5 components of the net rankings are.
Yeah.
They were listed by the NCAA, and they have a team value index where they look at game results, which the factors are opponent, location, winner, okay? Number 2 was net efficiency. Here we go. I can already tell you, here we go. You're looking at field goal attempt, offensive rebounds, turnovers, percentage free throw attempts, total number of possessions, total points. Net efficiency also has the opponent field goal attempts and everything else that I just mentioned. That's part of it. They'll look at the winning percentage. So that would be wins divided by total games played equals winning percentage. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Number 4, adjusted win percentage. Oh, the adjusted win percentage, Tom, did you look at this? It's the weighted value based on location and result. So a road win is worth plus 1.4. A neutral win is 1.0. A home win is plus 0.6. Road loss, minus 0.6. Neutral loss, minus 1.0. And a home loss hurts you. That's minus 1.4. Got it?
Oh, yeah, I'm still with you.
Scoring margin, team score, opponent score, scoring margin. Point differential is what that is. It's capped at 10 points each game. So, okay, look, this is team value index. I don't know what the hell that is. Do you know what that is? What is that, team value index?
No, I can't tell you that I know what the team value index is.
What is that? What are we doing? Game results, opponent location, winner, and those are factors, just factors. They're not everything that's involved. This is the system that Nate Silver on 538 said, quote, are the worst rankings I've ever seen in any sport ever. The problem seems to be that only one of the 5 components considers strength of schedule. So it rewards a team with good records against poor schedules. Okay. And that's a problem. And it's something that everybody finds to be a bit of a train wreck. But I'm just curious, as it is, that we keep winning games and dropping. I also don't spend a lot of time thinking about it, so don't get it wrong. I'm not overly concerned about it. Just keep winning games. I know that, and you'll be okay. I know if you have a winning record in the ACC and you finish your out-of-conference schedule, which was a good one, somewhere in the neighborhood of, 11-1 or 10-2. Let's say you lose to St. Louis. You still did pretty damn well. Should be all right.
Yeah, quote, this is incompetently designed. It's worse than RPI, worse than the eye test. It could make a total blank show of the NCAA tourney for a couple of years and cost the NCAA millions by devaluing its most valuable franchise. It's why you never want to design an algorithm by committee. Now, that last sentence is a little bit technical, but in looking at this conversation when it happened on November the 27th, all of these people who have advanced degrees in running models, statistics, they said it looks like a high schooler put this model together. Like people who are paid lots of money to come up with systems like these
are like, this doesn't work.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This looks like something an undergrad would do in a project.
So I think that the committee will not look at this, maybe not married to this. We'll see. By the way, the St. Louis team that Ham described as good may very well be. They are senior-laden amongst the starters. You're talking about 4 different seniors that get serious playing time. They do get playing time with a sophomore and a freshman as well, but they're going to lack height against Florida State. Their top players, 6'8", 6'6", 6'4", 6'9". That's the best they're going to roll out there. They got nobody over 6'9" on the roster. Florida State should have a very distinct advantage when it comes to that.
Well, it's another chance for Kumaje, who's made his last 11 baskets because they've all been dunks. And that's usually a December thing for a guy like Kumaje. But here you go. He will be challenged physically if these are all seniors, though, right? So that's the question.
Yeah, there's those strong guys. And look, at the end of the day, again, I sat here and told you that I didn't know a lot about the Billikens. Haven't watched the Billikens play, so I'm anxious to see the game, but I know this. Stats reveal that they play defense. That's what they do. They win with their defense. In fact, they have the 24th best if you're looking at traditional stats and points given up per game, and that's you gotta take that with a grain of salt. Look at the schedule, all that's true, but they're only giving up 62.5 points a game. So they're defending.
Well, and we'll turn it over, too. Now, the question here is, what does the rotation look like? And I think Leonard hinted at it the other night when he was talking about how it's on me for disrupting the flow of the game in order to keep people fresh. This is going to look more like our ACC play rotation, I would think.
Yeah, I think he's going to take it seriously.
It's going to be a lot of force, a lot of man, and then from there, you rotate either Kumaje or Kamigali based upon fouls or effectiveness. And we'll see if Phil Kofer's available in this game. That sounded more doubtful than anything, the way Leonard put it the other day.
Yeah.
But MJ and PJ and Nichols, I think, are your primary other 3. So I think that's going to be the basis of your rotation unless you run into foul trouble.
All right, well, we shall see. This is the tournament. We lost the 71-70 heartbreaker to Oklahoma State a year ago. Remember how mad we were about that? But all worked out. Yeah. Oh, no, that wasn't. Yeah, that was last year. That was last year. Yeah, I think it was 2 years
Leonard
ago.
was saying they were more interested in going to see Santa Claus than playing that game last year. So hopefully he's got him focused this time.
By the way, friends, if you're planning a party or a wedding or something big like that, a big get-together, engagement party, something like that, Social Catering has several options for your wedding event and catering needs. They're Tallahassee's largest catering company, and they manage event spaces at venues like our friends at Madison Social, Township, and The Gathering. They can help plan your wedding events, engagement parties, as I said, rehearsals, wedding receptions. It's perfect. Whatever the event, they've got you covered. Charitable functions, reunions, catering for conferences or office delivery, any of that stuff. If you want more details, email matt@madisonsocial.com, and Social Catering will set you up with event space, catering, and everything in between. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Big Daddy J making you money again last night. Woo! Flying over the posted 6.5. Well, 9-goal effort. 6-3, covering all day long. Toronto and Florida.
Did Florida score too late?
Yes. Oh, flying over, baby. Flying over.
So I didn't realize that the Lightning were going to start Louis Domingue, or else I would have
gone with the over.
Oh my God, yeah.
Got the win and the over there, but didn't bet it on the show. Did bet the over. Did Big Daddy for Toronto and Florida.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again.
Yeah, that was. We saw that posted 6.5 yesterday and came in bold and said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's go." It was 3-0 in the first period in like the first 7 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah, Toronto was going to get you at minimum 5. Yeah, that's where they are right now. That team is a machine offensively.
Yeah, so it's fun and it's also profitable. If you're listening to Big Daddy, better get on Millar. I don't know if he was heeding my advice, and then I got to get on whoever covers the Big Daddy, whoever that is out there on Twitterland doing.
I didn't see a ping.
I didn't see a ping either. I haven't looked. Maybe they did do it.
Maybe they're celebrating Commie Christmas or something.
By the way, as an aside, yeah, we also had no problem on our Marshall pick over South Florida. That was an easy cover. South Florida garbage. Becomes the first team ever to go 7-0 to start a season, only to finish the year 7-6. Never been done before. There was a close call. Texas Tech, Kingsbury, started 1 year 7-0, lost the next 5, but won their bowl game to avoid 7-6.
Completely changed everything about the trajectory of his job, the program.
Yeah, but that's
he's got them
something,
kicking ass at Texas Tech right now.
Well, except for he's been fired, so
he's
no longer there. But again, that's it's just something to note that they become the first ever to South Florida, and that's rather dubious.
Man, you know what? They probably would have been better off not to play in Tampa. Like the pressure of that. Wouldn't you rather go play the bowl somewhere else?
I guess, but it didn't matter where they were playing, home or away. Their last 6 contests, they didn't win anywhere.
And Noah's Ark was floating across the field last night.
It was something to see there, right? And then football day to day and tomorrow and on. Now it happens where every time you sit down, you're like, oh, there's a bowl game on. All right. So you got to get your picks in, get your money going there. I think the surprise, listen, the favorites have dominated. It's crazy. Even the Georgia Southern game, which I won, that game, that line switched late. If you'd been paying attention, a lot of people really started to kind of look at that Eastern Michigan as being a favorite and going, I don't think so. And a lot of the sharps were betting Georgia Southern. And it got down to a pick 'em like right at game time. But technically speaking, when those lines are posted is when they're looking at the favorites. So the favorites have won every single game this year in bowl season except for one, which was technically the Georgia Southern Eastern Michigan game. But even then, people knew that was the wrong.
So Vegas is taking a bath, usually on favorites, right?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people, yes, probably so, because I'm having a good year, and then everybody I talk to is having a good year so far to start the bowl season. It's just been strange the way that it's set up. I mean, who was going to go against Utah State? I mean, if you pay attention, I mean, they're a covering machine.
Well, the only way you do that is if there was, it's the coaching turnover and the problems they had there.
Man, they're just, they are fun. Fresno State was a good team all year long. I loved them defensively. They were only, I think, a 2-point favorite over Arizona State. They won that game 31-20. Told Herm, here's your 6th loss of the year. And so that was, that's good. But, I mean, Herm got him to a bowl. I'll give him some credit there. But, it's just been interesting to watch the favorites churn out victory after victory. It won't stay that way. Usually you can just kind of take a good long look at motivation. But Marshall was favored last night, and they cruised easily. And you can, to some degree, I think a lot of people knew Ohio would beat San Diego State too, because San Diego State at the end of the year lost as an 18-point favorite to Hawaii. They lost. I think they lost or barely won against UNLV, who's terrible. So they were trending in the wrong direction.
Man, you got this stuff down. I really didn't do much research this year because, again, I'm not in a bowl. I can't do this again. This is a failure of 2018. 2019, there's going to be a bowl confidence league, and if I have to head it, I'll head it.
Do it. I'm in. I want to be in as many of these as possible. I love it.
But I miss it. I do.
Yeah.
Because I would tune in and I'd watch. I realize now, since I don't have a dog in the fight, unless I go find some side action, but, hey now.
Hey.
But there's really nothing that compelled me to pull the trigger so far. I know Utah State would be something that, you can't wait to line up.
I'm compelled for them
Utah
at
State
all
wagers.
times, man. I love them.
But since I'm not involved, I don't go
ATM.
find the bowl games. But I did these last 2 or 3 years when I was in the pool.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? I mean, to me, that's I like the bowl season. It's the last gasp that you got, and then I'm a grown up. I like a little juice. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's have a little fun with this thing. As many of these types of pools as we can have.
You like the juice?
I like the juice.
The juice is good.
So is a MyPillow from my friends at MyPillow. Slept on MyPillow last night. It was really comfortable. Always is. That's why I tell you about it. It's that time of year. Now, you're probably going to miss that chance, but I'd order today if I could and maybe salvage Christmas for somebody. Maybe when you walk through that door and say, I got you a comfortable pillow, Uncle Bob, he's going to go, well, damn it. Teddy, I got to tell you, that's the best gift I got this year. I got a tie. I got some cologne. I got some socks. But this MyPillow, I'll use this every night, sometimes during the day, and I'll get a good night's rest. And you can too. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the Christmas special, enter my promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows. That's pretty cool. I think the premium pillows can be Go Anywhere pillows. I take my pillows with me, even the premium ones that I have, not just the MyPillow.
I checked the FAQ page and I didn't find that. So that's a thing. You can take them with you. You're allowed to
take them with you.
You're allowed.
Nobody says anything about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can do it. I take them with me. Go to MyPillow.com, Christmas special. Promo code 979ESPN. And, oh, by the way, that 4-pack, best price they've ever had for it. Free shipping as well and extended money-back guarantee through March the 1st. MyPillow.com. Click on the Christmas special. Enter my promo code 979ESPN. Libations Friday rolls on, about to make picks with Mom. About to take it on over to Capitol Lanes. Thanks so much to the fine folks at Capitol Lanes for hosting tonight's bowling tournament. Well, it's a tournament, I guess, but it's about the charity. It's about collecting toys and gift cards for the kids of the Guardian Ad Litem who really could use our help. And if you're out there driving around right now towards the end of the program and you're going to be anywhere near Capitol Lanes on Capitol Circle, anything you could do to help out, it's my favorite event we are a part of, and we get to do a lot of cool things here. But we help a lot of children with the help of the Guardian Ad Litem and you, obviously. And I've always just been so proud of the community with the way that you guys have shown an outpouring of affection, kindness, and dollars, frankly. I mean, people buy bikes, Tom. People will come in here and give $100. They'll just drop it off. I mean, it's always overwhelming. And so anything you can do to help, a couple toys, gift card, whatever you can do, we'll be over there having a good time real soon at Capitol Lanes, and it'll be fun.
It is a tournament for the winners because you get some cool stuff.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
You get golden pins if you're on the winning team. And
signed by me.
Well, that's right.
You do. And
that's
you get
the key.
And you get silver pins if you finish in second.
After that, there are no pins.
After that, you get nothing. Go get you a beer.
It's only 12 teams. Come on.
About how close
we
you
can't win.
came. Yeah, we are not even allowed to win. One year we came relatively
close. We came within like 20, 30 pins.
Yeah, that was the best we'd ever. That was that night I rolled the 198 and didn't got iced by that clown next to us who just didn't understand the magnitude of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think Millar was the one who had a rough evening because that team usually is the winning squad.
That is true.
And he had a rough time that night.
Well, he didn't have all of his bowlers this time. He's got most of them, I think, but he doesn't have everybody.
Oh, my God. It's like Alabama missing like a guard.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
yeah.
What's going to happen?
Their second string guard's going to have to play this week against Temple.
He was his best player in state history.
All right, I won 2 of the 3 games my mom and I wagered on last week. That puts me up 2. Cue it up, sir.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Mana, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
Hello, Mother. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I just want to say I think that's a great thing you're going to do at the bowling alley tonight. I think that's wonderful, and the people are really generous.
They are really generous. It's always something that excites us. We get at times overwhelmed by people's generosity, and I think most people it's sometimes lost on a day-to-day basis for lots of reasons. I think we see the worst of people in the news and the worst of people on social media and the worst of people in electronic forums. But I think by and large, people want to help other people. It's kind of innate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great, and I wish you good luck tonight. I hope you get a lot of donations and money and everything. And I wish I was there to bowl. You know, I'm not a bad bowler.
You're not a bad bowler. You look like a goofball because you bowl off your wrong foot, but
I do bowl off the wrong foot.
It's crazy. You should watch my mother bowl. She bowls off the wrong foot. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it goofier than what I do?
Oh, yeah. You just try to hurt yourself. She actually bowls off the wrong foot. It doesn't make any sense.
Wow, that's, yeah.
She also takes pictures with the wrong eye.
My dad taught me. He bowled off the wrong foot too, and he was a really good bowler. So I come by it honestly.
Yeah, that's fair enough. All that matters is if you knock down the pins. I don't care if you bowl backwards. I mean, you can do whatever you do.
I do pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I remember being at the bowling alley back in the day. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day with my brother John. We were talking about how we used to get on. I used to get on my mongoose, and he'd get on his bike, and we would ride up there to Tropicana Bowling Alley and play video games and bowl and just have a big to do. Yeah, that's where I got Bobby's bike stolen.
Oh God, I know that was. And the police didn't even care. They didn't even come.
No, they didn't care because bikes were destined to be stolen outside of Tropicana Lanes.
You had it locked up too, I think.
No, that was the problem. I didn't. I was supposed to, and I don't think I did. And
oh, Lord. Well, I guess I didn't know that part.
Here we go.
Lord. All righty.
You know what makes me mad, Mom? I'll tell you, this is funny. I won 2 of the 3 last week against you, but the one you beat me on was the Titans and the Giants. And on the air with you, I took a flyer on the Giants, That night, I went home and went, what am I thinking? And took the Titans in our pool. So in reality, I really didn't lose that game to you in our pool, but on the air, I did lose it. So it does count. It does count. But it
does count.
Yeah, it does. But I won the other two because Buffalo came through for me. Oh, there you go with the Bills.
Oh, my Lord. I know. And this week is really difficult because there's so many teams that, really need to win, and then others that probably don't care, and they're resting players and things. And so I don't know. I have picked them, but I'm not too sure about some of them.
Well, you got to look closely at who needs to win, who doesn't, who's resting, who isn't. Here we go. We start with the Saturday games, Mom. Washington is at the Titans. I think we're both going to take the Titans.
I am. I did take the Titans.
Yeah. Baltimore, this is a great Saturday game. Can you believe we get this game, Tom? 8:20 in the NFL. It's a meaningful game on a Saturday night, and you can bet the Ravens are going to give everything they got. They're 8-6 with an outside chance to win the division if the Steelers lose to New Orleans, which they could. So all of a sudden, that game is huge. You got the number one defense in Baltimore going against the Chargers, who, by the way, in traditional stats, aren't too shabby on defense either. This is the first time you'll get to see Lamar Jackson face a legitimate defense this entire time that he's been the starter. Baltimore at the Chargers.
I took the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. Big build-up for us just to take the Chargers. All right, Atlanta at Carolina.
Now, let me say this. I just learned that Cam is not playing.
Yeah, well, that gives Carolina a fighting chance because he sucks.
Yeah, well, I know. I took Carolina over Atlanta because Atlanta has no chance, right?
Well, no, neither team is playing for anything.
I know. Well, I took Carolina, so I guess I'll just keep it.
I'll take Atlanta.
I kind of thought I should change, but anyway, I'll keep it.
I mean, now listen, I will say this. I suppose Carolina has a better chance to win now that the injured wing is out. I mean, look, I said Cam sucks. Obviously, Cam was having a good year until he wasn't, and that all centers around the shoulder injury. I know that, but he was playing terribly the last 4 weeks, so we'll see. But the kid that's starting for Carolina is from Old Dominion. He's had 5 passes in his NFL career. I don't know. I'm having a hard time with that.
See, that's a problem. I think I probably should have picked Atlanta, but anyway, I'll keep my Carolina pick.
Okay. Well, listen, Tom. Tom's disagreeing with you over there quietly, but what I'm going to say...
I'm yelling, change!
No, but what I'm going to say about that is this, Tom. Atlanta's garbage. They could easily go into Carolina and lose. Easily. Even with this kid that nobody's ever heard of playing quarterback. Atlanta's garbage.
That's the thing. Atlanta's not very good,
no.
and so I don't have any confidence in them either. So that's why I think it's a flip a coin.
Well, I'm taking Atlanta, and you're going to lose that game. Here we go. Minnesota is at Detroit.
I'm picking Minnesota.
Good call. Houston at Philadelphia. Great game.
I know. Now, see, this game, Philadelphia, they need to win this game.
Yes, they do.
And I'm taking them.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a believer. They're balling again. I'm taking them. Yeah, I like it. All right, Green Bay's at the Jets.
I'm taking Green Bay. I don't know why. Just that the Jets are terrible.
So is Green Bay. I'm having a hard time with the game. I really am. I'm leaning Green Bay. I don't like it. I would never bet this game in my real life.
No.
But Aaron Rodgers did say he's going to play.
Right, he did.
I'll take Green Bay, I guess. The Giants are at Indianapolis.
I'm taking Indy.
The Bucs are at the Cowboys.
I know. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Not much of a matchup. Jacksonville's at Miami.
I'm going to take Miami.
Of course. Buffalo's at New England.
I'm taking New England.
Cincinnati's at Cleveland.
I'm taking Cleveland.
Sure. They're hot right now. The Rams are at Arizona. Not again.
The Rams.
Yep. Chicago's at San Francisco.
Chicago.
I'm going to give this game the watch out stamp.
I know. I agree with you.
Watch out. Chicago's already clinched the division. Come on. Watch out. Shanahan's a good coach.
We need a watch out stamp.
That's a watch out stamp. I'm giving you a watch out stamp on the Chicago-San Francisco game. I don't know what I get if it turns out San Francisco wins and I had the watch out stamp on that game. I should get something. I'll just pat myself on the back next week. All right, here we go. Here we go. Pittsburgh's at New Orleans. Woo!
I know it. Then Pittsburgh, that's another one. They need to win. I'm picking them.
I'm taking New Orleans.
Lordy.
I'm taking the Saints at home always. Kansas City's at Seattle. Another great game there.
Kansas City.
The slate is awesome this week.
What'd you say?
I said the slate is awesome this week.
I know. It is. But I'm taking Kansas City. I think they're mad. They lost that game last week, and so I think they want to win.
Well, I don't doubt that they would like to win. Seattle lost to San Francisco last week, and they too would like to win as they are 8-6 and hosting in prime time. That game will be a war, one that Kansas City wins late, but that will be a good game. I too will take Kansas City, but I'm not so sure Seattle doesn't give them one hell of a run here.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Well, and here's something I talked about earlier in the show, Mama. Sad day, really. Monday night is going to be. Because it's the last game in Oakland, and they're not going to play there next year. The argument as to where they'll go play, they don't go to Vegas next year. They go the following year, and a lot of people think they'll either go to San Antonio or they'll have to play somewhere in Los Angeles. But this is likely the last game ever in Oakland, and I know that just being a lifelong football fan, and you are too. It's sad, that's it.
It is, and I used to love the Raiders.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I still like the Raiders, but I mean, they were one of my favorite teams, and it is a shame. I feel bad for the fans, but I'm taking Oakland in that game.
I am too against Denver. Denver's got nothing to play for now. Last game ever in Oakland. I imagine it'll be emotionally charged. They're not a great team, but either is Denver, so I'll take the Raiders there. All right, so we got two different.
The Atlanta-Carolina game and the New Orleans-Pittsburgh game. And I would have normally taken New Orleans at home because they are really good, but I mean, New Orleans doesn't really have to win this game, and do they? No.
Well, they've won their division, but they do have to win the game when you're talking about seeding purposes. They want to be home for the entirety of the playoffs.
Well, I guess so. But Pittsburgh, I mean, they need to win it to have a chance.
Yeah, potentially they could go from winning the division and cruising into the playoffs to out of the playoffs altogether. Yes, this is a big game.
It is a big one. So anyway, that's my rationale on that game.
Tom's going to add.
No, I was going to say, this is a classic case of where the game's played.
Oh, yeah. If that's in Pittsburgh, I'm taking them.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, that dome, the Saints get it rocking. That's a tough place to go play. It's hard. If the Steelers go win there, they will have earned their berth into the playoffs. That will have been something pretty solid. Love you, Mama.
I love you, too. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday, and I love you, and I'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good, Mama. Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. I don't think you knew until we started going over the games just how meaty this slate is this weekend. I mean, a lot of big-time games that matter, even some sneaky good games in there, some games that you might otherwise ignore, but given what's on the line, people fighting for jobs, playoff spots, travel, staying home, buys, all that stuff's on the line.
Man, Shanko thinks there's a lot of meat around for the schedule. It's everywhere.
It is everywhere. It's awesome. I'm excited. I'm ready to get it on. I'm loving this weekend. And because we're not, we have nothing to do next week, but just enjoy each other's families and friends and hang out. And so, Sunday night, Monday night, this is all going to be great.
It got spoiled, though, the last couple of years with the holiday being on the weekend or around the weekend, so you'd still get NFL games. Like, just this, I think that's it, NBA for Christmas Day. I liked having the NFL there, too, to fall back on or make the primary viewing experience.
Yeah. Well, you got a little bit of what do we get now? We get you mentioned the NBA on Christmas.
Yeah.
We got a great game there. That matchup between the Lakers, is it Lakers and Golden State?
I think it's Lakers Golden State.
It's a good game. Golden State's going through the motions.
That is true.
They are just straight
100%.
They're fooling around, allowing other people to get in the mix. It's kind of fun to watch. It's interesting. And it's also sneaky cool that Toronto is badass. Toronto's winning you money if you're paying attention to Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto's good. Like, they defend, and they're good. I know we were burned, but this is a different Toronto
It's like a one-year
team.
rental. I don't know that Kawhi's going to stay in Toronto.
He doesn't have to, but they're damn good right now. Really. Come back, wrap it up momentarily.
Nuts roasting on an open fire.
All-timer.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
He could sing a song about the rain. You go, this is amazing. Listen to that.
Different types of trees.
Yeah, just naming the trees. Sung in this manner.
And your Georgia pine.
You go, God, I love this song. Just hits you. Just hits you. When he talks about the birch.
The bonsai in Japan is fresh, too.
Yeah, it's amazing. Turn it up.
Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight.
Yeah, it's by the fireplace. A dram in hand. Reflection on the year. This is not our last show of the year, or I would be inclined to send thanks to all of you in a more gushing fashion. But I will wish you happy holidays to everybody, of course. And I'm really excited, as I just said last segment, to be heading over to the bowling alley, Capitol Lanes, and participating in the annual bowling tournament, Jeff Cameron Show, ESPN Tallahassee Bowling Tournament. And it's always a pleasure to work with the people we do at the Guardian Ad Litem. I get to see Deborah tonight. And, I said this the other day, and I'll say it again here because it's my last chance to do it before the event. And I should probably do it year-round. But, the Guardian Ad Litem are child advocates, and they protect and help and aid Florida's most vulnerable children is probably the best way to say it. And they need help. They just need volunteers and people who are willing to go the extra mile and give up their time and their affection and their, what funds they can and to help out. And it's a valued and material asset to the community and to the state of Florida, because there are a lot of kids who don't have anybody fighting for them. And that's where the Guardian Ad Litem comes in, and they successfully advocate for kids, and they work tirelessly on their behalf. And, I don't know that I thought about it to the extent that I do these days as a father. I did work as a counselor for ACHS for years, and I saw, the worst of the worst at times, and it makes you angry, it makes you profoundly sad, it makes you a lot of things. But that was very limited. That was at one home, and it was 16 kids or whatever. This is the whole state. This is everything. This is overwhelming when you start to delve into the numbers and you start looking at all the people that do help out and all the kids that need that help. And right now, like we said, they've got over 600 kids that need help, and they only have, I think, in terms of the volunteers, 300. So my math could be a little off, 320 to 630 or something like that. But you've got people working with 2 to 3 kids at a time. And obviously you'd love to have that be a one-to-one. But anyhow, I say all of that. You can do the research, guardianadlitem.org. You can go find out the volunteer stuff and what the requirements are if that's something you're inclined to do. But I just wanted to put it on your plate, and I get it. We're all crazy busy with our jobs. We're crazy busy with what we got and with our own families. And it's not an easy thing to do. So I understand. But there may be some of you out there listening who've thought, I could do more. I've got time, or my situation is such where I'm able to do more, and I've been wondering how to. Go check it out. Give them a call. Go online. Read about how you can do it, and it's an awesome cause. So tonight we'll collect those toys, and I'll get a chance. If you're not able to stop by the bowling alley, or you haven't been able to come by, but you did donate, or you want to, you still can. You can swing by the bowling alley tonight, Capitol Lanes, or you could come by anytime when we're on the air. I mean, really throughout the year. You want to donate, I'll make sure it gets there. You guys, a lot of people do that too, by the way, Tom. Sometimes after the fact, the holidays are over. Couldn't get by, but I had this gift card. Couldn't get by, but I wanted to donate $25. Couldn't get by, but I have a basketball that I wanted to give. That's fine. We have a connection to that group and others, and we're able to help out in that way. So, it doesn't end tonight, I guess is what I would say. And you still feel good about what? One
man.
what? What do you feel?
If I clear 145 tonight, I'll be very happy.
That's a low bar. I don't understand why the bar's so low. I've watched you throw a good number before.
Yeah, I've rolled in the high 180s. I think I've cleared 200 maybe once a long time ago. But I'm not living in the 170s. I live in the 150s.
I don't live in the 170s. I don't live there. Yeah, and I mean, you and I live in the same neighborhood. I mean, that's where we are in the bowling world.
Yeah, but you drive the QX80.
I do.
Okay.
I do. So more should be considered of me. I should be able to ascend to something higher.
I live in a Nissan town, but you have a gated community that the Infinity people can go to.
But we are very friendly with our friends at Nissan, and we wave to them as they drive by. They're gorgeous Altimas, and I like really the entire Nissan family, Tom. And so while I may drive by in my Infinity, I'm not looking down at your Nissan.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I am literally looking down because my Infinity QX80 is big and has me perched high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not figuratively.
That's quite a perch.
Oh, my goodness.
What's your number? 177.5. Over, under. What do you think?
That's a good number, Tom.
Because you felt good about the two Bills earlier in the week. You were talking big game.
Well, that was nonsense. I was just boasting for no reason. I've only ever approached that number twice in my life. One a couple years ago, and then most of the days it's not that.
The only 300 I think anybody's going to see tonight. That's the platter of wings that we have.
Boom!
For dinner. 300 wings.
Tasty. Thank you, Capital Lanes. It should be good. I'm going to have a couple beverages. I'm going to have some tasty wings, and I'm going to roll. That's what we're going to do. And if we're slow in our efforts to finish the 2 games of bowling, we may even get a little extra cosmic bowling in there.
I think the bright lights, the laser beams, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. I think that's it's going to take center stage here. Yes, whether or not you are done or quick or slow.
That's how it's going to work. Good work out of you. Merry Christmas, sir. Happy holidays to everybody. Great work out of you as well, Matthew.
Merry Christmas, Director Matthew.
Yeah, good work.
It's weird I'm looking in the opposite direction.
But he can see you because he's got the camera.
Looking at the camera.
He's right there.
Right in your soul.
He's looking at me right now. Merry Christmas, buddy. There you go. There's some loving for you. All right, let's go have fun. We will not be on the air next week like you. We will be taking our holiday and enjoying our friends and our family. And then we will be back with you before New Year's Eve day. We'll be on with you to reflect on what just occurred in the college football playoff and to preview some other things that we'll take off New Year's Day, and then we're back for the rest of the week. So we're good. 2019 is going to be weird. It's going to be an interesting year.
Well, the first quarter is at least full of ACC basketball, and we are relevant in that discussion.
We are relevant, and it's exciting to watch us play, and I'm excited to watch us play tomorrow. Sunrise should be good.
Something to look forward to in 2019 is that Duke game that Saturday. We'll be assembling. We'll have more information about that on the New Year's Eve show.
We're going to do a big thing. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. All right, be well, everybody. Happy holidays, and we'll talk to you again in about a week. All right? Mwah.